Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
We've played so long together, like every year. I think we're getting better, and chemistry builds up, and it shows on the ice. I think
probably gonna be a better final than last year. 4-0 was kind of huge disappointment for us, but I think now we are overall better team. We have more variation, hard to defend.
we've always had the main core. Usually the lefty is what has changed in the past as well. So of course I think that's the most important thing, to build chemistry every year.
I think I'm kind of thrilled to see what we can do at Villa in the final as well, because our hopes are up. Like, we think we could beat them. Like, there is no team that in good day we couldn't beat, and yeah, let's create some hype to the finals.
Our final, second year in a row again, defending champions in Philadelphia, a rematch against hREDS. You are not going to want to miss that. Hello, everybody, and welcome once more to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on NHL Gamer. My name is Tuki, joined as always by my broadcast partner, is one Sin for the win. And Sin, it's hard to believe it, but it's finally time. The championship round is here as we have again a rematch of last year's final. Defending champions in Philadelphia take on hREDS once again.
Yeah, I mean, the hype for this series has just been unreal. I'm sitting here with goosebumps. I can't wait for this to start. We got plenty of talk to talk about before we kind of get into it between these two teams. But regardless of how things shake out, these are two elites going head to head. And I mean, there's going to be fireworks no matter what happens.
Absolutely. Again, a tremendous amount of work put in by our production team for this particular broadcast. A couple of things to mention here right off the start. You would have just seen the ads from our friends at Wilhelm, of course, sthockey.com. A reminder for the Finns in attendance here, use code Wilhelm for a 50% fee cut to gain entry into those particular events. So again, sthockey.com. And of course, we also want to thank our friends at Kovalan Lockritzy for supporting us this season, and Viaplay. Big day for the Finns in chat. You'll see giveaways throughout this broadcast and tomorrow's broadcast as well. So pay attention to that for the Finns in chat. Sin, it has been an absolutely incredible season here as well. And I should mention too, the giveaways don't even stop there. You have a tiny little bit of time to go over to Twitter now and still make your predictions on who you think is going to win this final. Not only, of course, how you think they're going to win it, but the amount of goals scored in the series as well. And you could win a copy of NHL 22 upon release. So much going on here today, Sin. Like you mentioned, we have so much to break down. Let's get everybody caught up, though, on the season that was. We'll take one more look back here at the standings from this past season. Again, season 12 here in the ECL. The left-hand side of the standings was where you wanted to be. And unsurprisingly, Sin, Philadelphia found themselves at the top again. But on top of that, you also had hREDS, who last season really made that push to break down what was considered a big two between Philadelphia and Havu Gaming. They haven't always undergone their campaigns with those names, but those were the big two clubs in the ECL. It's been that way season after season, but there's no doubt now with hREDS finishing second in the regular season and working their way back to the final that they are among the premier teams in the European scene.
They absolutely are, and you got even more teams kind of pushing to try to get into that. We saw Färjestad a lot of points, looking like a team who could make it into, an Elite Four right there. But at the same time, if you're one of those teams trying to catch up, it just also seems like Philadelphia continues to get better and better and better. 0 regulation losses throughout the entire regular season. Absolutely ridiculous. We had Goons coming in from Pro Division, making a splash, making the playoffs as one of the hot new teams around here. I mean, the ECL just keeps getting better and better with each passing season, and the Elite just gets more and more competitive.
Absolutely. So, of course, it's not just the consistent names that have been able to find playoff success. Didn't mention Goons, who lost last year's Pro Final to IQ. Both teams still found themselves in the playoffs. Sim, with that, we'll take a look at the bracket, the playoffs, and how it played out to get here. Philadelphia did take care of IQ in 6 games. They didn't slip up once against FBK in the semifinal. A little bit more difficult of a road for hREDS. I mean, they had to wipe out Poggers in the first round, and they did, but you knew they'd have to go through Havu to get to the final. And for the second year in a row, they did just that.
Yeah, and it's disappointing for Havu, I'm sure, but hREDS is just, making strides and again, continuing to improve along the way, and they're going to have their chance for revenge here in the finals against Philadelphia, but it's not going to be any easy task. They really have their work cut out for them.
And of course, so much at stake in this championship round. Again, the first 3 games of this series right here tonight in this broadcast. The back half of the series will be played tomorrow. A friendly reminder of what these two teams are playing for as well. 10K euros up for grabs for first place. 3K, not so bad for the runner-up, Sim, but the lion's share of that 15K prize pool that was up for grabs this season will go to the winner here. So again, a lot to play for, not just from a bragging rights perspective, not just from the fact that, as was mentioned in chat, you get the beautiful trophy as well. One of our favorite things every season is the trophy presentation, of course. And then again, 10K euros on top of that. Sin, we know him. We love him, and apparently 6 months worth of Viaplay as well. We just keep throwing stuff at the winners. More incentive, all the incentive to win that trophy and get the job done. But Sim, with that, we know him. We love him. Let's take a look at the team stats here and the teams in general as we continue to prep you guys for the start of this series. And Sin, I mean, so far, identical records in the playoffs and the numbers really do speak for themselves. I mean, that is just a fantastic track record through 10 playoff games each.
Yeah, and it's what it comes down to is essentially both teams are performing at such a even level. I mean, slightly more offense for hREDS and then slightly better defense for Philadelphia. The power plays are comparable, slight edge to hREDS, but the penalty kills a slight edge to Philadelphia. If it comes down to a defensive struggle, it looks like Philadelphia has the edge, but how many times have we said something this season and the complete opposite happens? That's been the mantra. Expect the unexpected. So as soon as you think you have something figured out, it could go the complete opposite direction. Time will tell on this series. Either way, it's going to be absolutely gangbusters.
So with that, the lineups here, the primary six, of course, for both sides, featuring here tonight for hREDS Villapoica, the captain Benito up the middle at center, and Nicky Dangles on the right-hand side. The defense, Domi and King of Apes. Of course, it's FaZe minding the goal for hREDS. For Philadelphia, Playmaker, the captain Potsloff, and Eki on the right-hand side. Teemu Loimu on defense. Kape between the pipes, and Sin. I always look forward to these head-to-head matchups, and we'll start it off, as we always do, with that center battle. Captain versus captain, and both have certainly lived up to their reputations, not just as point-producing centers, but really dynamic two-way defensive threats as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this season, especially, Benito has, made a splash. The top point scorer in the regular season here in the playoffs, hasn't quite slowed down so much, ranked 5th amongst everyone in points, but a goal-scoring center, that's not something you necessarily see all that often, especially when you consider his wingers, Villapoica, Nicky Dangles, and, on the flip side, Potsloff. What else can we say about this guy? He's just a consistent performer. He gets perhaps a bit overshadowed by his wingers, but he's always right there, getting big points when he needs to, winning some key face-offs, and in the face-off battle, it's almost dead even between these two guys here in the playoffs.
Now we have the winger battle here as well for these two sides. Again, Villapoica, Nicky Dangles for hREDS, Playmaker, and Eki here. Sim, we're going to go a little bit more in depth at this particular matchup in a second, so I want to focus on Villapoica and Playmaker on that left-hand side. Two different styles for these guys, obviously, but two of the best this season, and really two of the best that we've seen over the past couple of years.
Absolutely. What a pickup for hREDS was Villapoica, slotted into this lineup, and hREDS didn't miss a step and, arguably looked better. It's hard to believe from that, but Villapoica, zero problems fitting in here in the playoffs, zero problems producing, 6 goals, 14 assists. And on the flip side, again, Playmaker, a name that's just been here for so long, been on a staple in Philadelphia, has won, some scoring titles, etc., so forth. And I mean, we're going to look to him to get some big points here in this series.
Now, I mentioned we'd go a little bit more in depth with the matchup here. We're going to focus on Nicky Dangles and Eki, and the reason for that, all season long, we've talked about what player is wearing the golden helmet for their team. Of course, that, signifying the team's leading scorer. And when talking about hREDS, we have seen it bounce around a little bit. You had a 3-way tie after the first game between Villapoica, Benito, and Nicky Dangles. First to score with the others assisting there. The second game, Nicky Dangles held on to it, wore it for another 4 games. He had it for 7 games in the for 6 games in the regular season, had it ultimately 7 times there. Benito, of course, has worn the helmet as well, took it after game 6. He wore it for 24 times after that. So Benito in the regular season leading the way for hREDS, and he started it off the same way in the playoffs, had it for the first 2 games. But again, talking about Nicky Dangles, he has had the golden helmet for his team over the last 8 games, whereas it is much more simplistic for Philadelphia. Playmaker wearing that golden helmet 7 times and through the first 4 games, but then since then, 23 straight times in the regular season, and for all 10 playoff games. That's not to say, Sin, that Philadelphia doesn't have the ability to, have one of their front 3 take the lead and be the team's leading scorer like we saw with hREDS and how it bounced around. But at the end of the day, there's no doubt about it. You focus on Eki in this series as the most dynamic threat for Philadelphia.
He absolutely is. Plays in every single zone on the ice consistently. It's scary just how good he is, no matter what he's doing. If he's a shooting threat, a passing threat, forechecking on the defensive end of things, probably one of the best defensive players in the ECL in the world. And he plays wing. I mean, that if that's not a dynamic threat, I mean, I don't know what is. But yeah, you said it. Nicky Dangles, feel one of those up and coming stars, and now he has come. He is here. This is Nicky Dangles. He is now one of the top players in the ECL, and he's just gonna get better from here on out. The points speak for themselves. Performances speak for themselves. Them both being here in the championship in the ECL Elite speaks for itself.
The face of this ECL season for very, very good reason. We've talked about his emergence over the past couple of seasons, but we've also talked about Eki a little bit, and we're going to be able to hear a little bit more from him. We were able to get a couple of interviews today, and the first one we're going to hear from, it is Eki, our buddy, Mr. Martindale. Connor was able to get a word with him. Let's send it over to him now.
Hey again, I'm here with the right wing from Philadelphia and Eki. We're back with another finals matchup involving Philadelphia and a second one on the trot with your opponents being hREDS. You swept them last time. Are we in store for another one-sided series, or are you guys going to give them a little bit of breathing room to make it entertaining for the viewers?
Of course, I hope it's 4-0 again, but can't really say I expect that it is, because even last year I felt like the gameplay was much tighter than 4-0. It could have, I think Kappe kind of bailed us out, especially in the first two games of that series. I think this year, I feel personally that Reds plays very, very similar, pretty much identical to last year, but their individuals have just gotten better, so tight series.
So, like, what in particular are you guys looking out for the most from hREDS? Is it anything like a gameplay thing, or is it like a specific player that scares you at all? Or
I think their fast counters is the number one thing. They're very good on counter attacks, and I feel like last year we did a very good job at shutting them down. Of course, they're very good at cycling the puck as well, and Axe Domi helps out with that. But I feel like they're way more dangerous in the rush than they are actually in the zone.
Well, once again, you and Philadelphia stand on the precipice of becoming the first back-to-back champion in ECL history. Should we plan the parade already?
I don't know. What, there's a third chance to try it? Or fourth? I don't know.
Yeah, you and Havu kind of gone back and forth a couple times.
It's been close, but I don't know. Maybe there's a curse. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can get the win. Let's see what happens.
I mean, either way, it's going to be very entertaining, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, with all of that said, we'll throw it back to the studio.
All right, and a big thank you to Connor there for that interview. Shout out to him, and shout out to Eki as well. The hair is growing back in well after losing a bet to fellow teammate Kappe earlier in the NHL playoffs there. Sin, we focus on the defense here next. Domi and King of Apes for hREDS. You have Teemu Loimu on defense, of course, for Philadelphia. So for both of these teams, you had the question heading into this season. There was a change on that left-hand side on defense, but for both teams, it's worked out quite well, although surprising perhaps that Teemu only has 3 points in 10.
Yeah, it is a bit surprising that he's been a bit sparse on the points, considering he had 8 goals in the regular season for 20 points in 20 games played. I mean, he's obviously an incredible talent. So a bit like what's kind of happening, maybe a bit snake bitten, but at the same time, you can kind of almost mention that for all of them. Oftentimes in the playoffs, we see defensemen for both of these teams still being above that point per game mark. So it's almost like teams are trying to key in on those defensemen a bit more, not give them the time and space needed to create some of those, have to look out for. Obviously, goes on.
And we'll cut Sin off here a little bit here, going a little bit robotic. We'll wait for his connection to sort itself out really, really quickly there. Sin, how are we doing? Test it out now. Are we good?
It looks good. I don't know. You never know. Discord sometimes has a mind of its own right there. It doesn't like me to finish points, but yeah, I mean, just for the most part, both of these teams, obviously talented defensemen, perhaps people keying in on that, so they're going to have to really battle for their time and space.
And of course, we were able to hear from Eki a few moments ago. Martindale was also able to get a word with a member of hREDS here for this particular interview. Once more, it is King of Apes. Let's see what he had to say.
We're here with King of Apes, the right D from hREDS. We're looking at a repeat of last year's matchup from for the very final games of this season's ECL. Obviously, last season didn't go quite as you guys had planned, as you fell in 4 games. However, since then, you've shuffled the deck around by bringing Villapoica and Domi, and you're looking even more lethal than before. How confident are you that you can show everyone watching this hREDS lineup that is good enough to take down the reigning champs in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I think we are pretty confident. Like we have a really good team. We have like some of the best players in the team. In this, yeah. I don't know what to say about it. Like we are just going for the win. And that's the only thing we are thinking of now. Get those 4 things.
No. Well, obviously, any team that gets this point is pretty solid, to say the least. But if you had to pick out one player specifically, who do you think you're trying to focus on and maybe expose in the upcoming series?
It's pretty tough to pick one, as we all know how good Fila is. But my pick would maybe be them, as we have kind of just go his plays and maybe some weakness and try to expose those. But yeah, we'll see how it works.
Okay. Well, finally, you destroyed Poggers and you made Heavy look, well, second rate. How worried should Philadelphia be going into this?
Not pretty worried, because I don't think it's gonna be easy night tonight and tomorrow. So I hope they have some kind of fear. Maybe not yet, but soon.
Okay. Well, thank you for this. On that, we'll send it back to the studio.
Yeah, thank you.
So again, a big thank you to Martindale there. Big thank you to King of Apes as well from taking time out of tending the snack bar behind him. Sim, with that, we move on to our last head-to-head here, the battle of the netminders. It is FaZe against Kape, and it's a very interesting story here because, again, Kape has been amongst the best goaltenders in the world, if not the best goaltender in the world, in competitive sixes for a few years now, whereas FaZe, an incredible rise to prominence, of course, last year's Rookie of the Year, and you look at these numbers here, it is a very, very close matchup.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kape with that edge in the save percentage, but, it could come down to, how many shots they're facing and things like that. And what it's going to come down to in this goaltender duel is who's going to make that big save when a tiny, the smallest of gaps opens up in the defense and one of those teams, capitalize on that chance. It's going to come down to, can FaZe or Kape make that breakaway save, make a huge save off a one-timer, smother the play. And if they can slow it down for their team and help them reset, that could have a huge swing of momentum.
Of course, as well as we always have here on these broadcasts, we have the 3 keys to success for each of these two sides. We're going to start off with hREDS and what they have to look to do in this series here, Sin. And I'm intrigued to see just how this is going to play out. What do we have here?
Well, first and foremost, it's the missing piece. Despite Phila's dominance over the years, hREDS have had their fair share of prior champions. Benito, Ape, Villapoica have won together in the past, and perhaps bringing Villapoica back was just what they needed. Some previous chemistry never hurt anyone. Any questions over his ability to play at the top level once again are just plain and simply gone after a few seasons away from the championship hopefuls. The second point here is unfazed, or at least he has to be. This is what hREDS got him for. Last season's rookie and goalie of the year has overcome the pressure of playing for a top contender all season long, but now this is his greatest challenge yet. The defending champions in Philadelphia, the offensive threat that they provide in a best-of-7 series, he's going to have to be at his best. And the third and final point is discipline. Unfortunately, we've mentioned this quite a bit for hREDS here, and I think for 2 or 3 of the new additions, for the club, why not mention it again? Unfortunately for me, it's not the only reason, but he's getting mentioned for this a bit more than he would prefer. He's had, very solid postseason, but he has a tendency to take some tripping penalties. He's got to be a bit more, careful with his stick. Philadelphia certainly will have noticed if they have done their homework. They're going to try to sort of exploit that. We'll see how Domi kind of balances the risk versus reward in this series.
Absolutely there. Again, you'd never like to single somebody out for more of a negative point, but certainly something to keep an eye out for. Sim, we also have the 3 keys here for Philadelphia. A little bit more difficult to say what they should do, though. I mean, it is our multiple-time champions we're talking about here.
Exactly, and that brings us to our first point. What do we know? We pretend to know some things and oftentimes get proven wrong by these insanely talented clubs, but the 6th final in a row for Philadelphia. Their 6th appearance here in the finals. Championship in alternating years, funny enough, season 7, 9, and 11. So maybe, just maybe, it is hREDS' year. Put a big question mark behind that, though, because Philadelphia may break the streak, and that's what they're looking to do here. But what exactly can we tell them that they don't already know? The second point here is being quick off the draw. Face-off win percentages very close for either centers, as we alluded to in the head-to-head matchups. Philadelphia's suffocating style will be that much more difficult to overcome for hREDS if they have the puck less, especially off those draws in the offensive zone. Look to Patslov to really try to break out all the tricks and the mind games and really try to get the mental edge in the dot. The third and final point here is Kape. Just Kape. If he's on his game, he is the best EASHL goaltender in the world, and he will always be a huge, huge key to the success of Philadelphia.
And as well, we have one more interview to go. Martindale was able to get a word with Kape as well. Let's send it back over to Connor.
Hey again, I'm here with the G this time from Philadelphia in Kappa. So we're just going to go over the same questions that we asked Eki. So we're going into another finals matchup involving Philadelphia and the second one on the trot with your opponent being hREDS. You swept them last time. Are we in store for another one-side affair, or are you guys going to give them a little bit of breathing room to make it a bit more entertaining?
It's going to be 4-0 for sure. No, but I think it will be a tight series. Last time we played them, I think 4-0 in the series, it didn't really reflect those games because hREDS played really good in a few of them. But I still think that we will have the upper hand. We have won many times now, and we have this really good team spirit at the moment that I think will help us a lot in these tough situations in the finals. Because I know I played with hREDS earlier in my career, and I know that when they struggle, they usually tilt a lot. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Do you think them tilting a little bit helped you last year?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a lot of frustration in their team, and that's why they couldn't turn it around. But that's also one thing that I got to give them credit for, when they can have this really good confidence. And so if they start winning against us, it's going to be really tough for us also.
Well, kind of carrying on from that, what are you guys looking out for the most from hREDS? Is it anyone in particular, or is it just their pressure, the way they play, anything like that?
I think they are really good when they are trying to play a little bit aggressive, not fall back too much. I think they made when we played them in the regular season, they dropped back so much and focused so much on the trap, and I think that's a problem with a lot of teams that playing us, that they play a lot in their own zone, so they focus a lot of the defense, so that they're not really sure what they're going to do when they get the offensive going. So I think we need to really watch out. We need to get the first goal against them. If we get that, I think it will create a lot of space for us. And as you guys know, who have been in the scene for a long time, when we have the lead, it's not fun to play against Playmaker. He's so good finding those going up behind the defense in the opposing team and finding those spaces there to get those breakaways. So if we get the first goal, I think that we will control it really good. So that's something that I think that we are going to be looking for.
Yeah, I think whenever anyone plays Philadelphia, it's essentially if you guys get the first goal, I wouldn't say you've lost already, but you're kind of already there because you guys just kind of ramp up the pressure, and if you're not in the state of mind to just get rid of it and just try to move as fast as you can, you're just going to get bogged down instantly. So
yeah.
Well, once again, you and Philadelphia stand on the precipice of becoming the first back-to-back ECL champions. Should we plan the parade already?
Not yet. Of course, that's our main goal, and it would be really cool to be the first team to be back-to-back. I think that with all the respect to Have Gaming, when we played them in ECL, was it 10? We were down 3-0 the first day, and we came back to 3-3 and lost the game 7 in overtime. It felt that we should have been back-to-back champs there, but you got to give credit to them there. They made a good job in the end and won. But after this weekend, I think that we were going to be the first team that's going to be the first back-to-back champions.
Oh, okay. Well, with all of that said, we'll throw it back to the studio.
Again, a big thank you to Connor for his help with this production. Sin, interesting to note, of course, Kape mentioning never been back-to-back champions, which is astonishing, really, given, like we said, this is season 12. Philadelphia's appeared in the finals since season 7 every single year. But on top of that, Sin, not only, of course, have everybody watching here gotten our thoughts on what might happen, the players' thoughts, Connor chipping in as well. We also have another member of the production team here that has a little something to add here before we get into the action here today. Let's throw it over to our broadcast partner, of course, Mr. F5 Penguin. Let's see what Nick has for us.
Welcome to The Rewind. I'm F5 Penguin, and here we're going to take a look at the X's and O's on the virtual ice between hREDS and Philadelphia. Good things, bad things, and all things in between. Here's what we noticed. First, let's rewind all the way back to last season. Going back to November 2020, one of hRED's biggest issues was their blue line defense. They were way too aggressive at the blue line, leaving openings for Philadelphia to take advantage with lots of free zone entries. Free entries means free possessions. Free possessions means more scoring opportunities. Now let's fast forward to the regular season matchup that they had. hREDS looking like a completely different team, fully committed to the 5-man trap. Everyone is holding their zone, and it really stifled Philadelphia's rhythm, leading to a lot of offsides and turnovers at the blue line. And it was a key reason why they split their regular season matchup. Limiting free zone entries not only helps them defensively, but causes more turnovers where hREDS can use their speed, their biggest strength on the counterattack. The key thing is, can they stay mentally focused and committed to this for a full 7-game series? Now, let's talk about the defending champs, Philadelphia, and their forecheck. They are not afraid to pressure the puck carrier and force their opponents into making bad decisions, or to put them in a position with nowhere to go. Here, we have hREDS in their own zone. Playmaker, after losing the puck, puts some pressure on the D-men to try to force a turnover. Just as he leaves the zone, Eki rotates his way in catching hREDS off guard, knocking the puck loose, leading to a good Philadelphia chance. Philadelphia once again putting on an aggressive forecheck. hREDS here doing their best to escape, and everyone's covered. Eki covering the boards, Playmakers covering the passing options in the middle, and Podslop has the breakout option. Without any choices, Philadelphia easily strips the puck and gets a shot on net. They won't always do this, they will pick their spots, and if they smell blood, watch out, because the puck will be in the back of the net before you know it. Now, these are two of the best teams in Europe and in the world, but they are human, miscommunications do happen, and they can make mistakes. Here, Playmaker takes a monster hit and is slow to get up. hREDS takes control and begins their counterattack. I hope you guys didn't forget about Playmaker, because hREDS did, and someone of his caliber will make you pay. Now, of course, we have to talk about the dreaded 2-on-1. As hREDS enters the zone, both Patslov and Loimu follow the streaking forward. This is dangerous because here they need to decide, does Loimu stay with the puck carrier? He is closer after all, and let Patslov handle Benito, or does he go back and let Patslov stick to the puck carrier? Both of them went after the puck carrier, and the next thing you know it, it's a 2-on-1 chance for hREDS, but Kape was able to come through with the big save. As we've just shown here, everyone will make mistakes. The question is, for this series, who will be the one that makes less of them and capitalize on the opportunities when the other team slips up? This, of course, has been the NHL Gamer Rewind. I'm F5 Penguin. Let's get back to the studio.
It is possible that you've heard this phrase before. If you don't put down that game console, it's going to rot your brain.
For many, this was the common line heard from our parents growing up. And while some rolled their eyes and dismissed the warning, others took it as a challenge. And it's those players that, while they didn't quite know it yet, wanted to be elite. Why they picked up those controllers, why they chose to play their games may vary. But whether it was a Sega Genesis or Nintendo cartridge, or a disc that they slid into a PlayStation or Xbox, they all shared a common desire to play. Some played after coming home from a practice at the rink, some played after just shooting it around with their friends outside. Others played to escape, and even more played to connect with others online.
Bravo! Here's Dominoiti. Fire
So for those of you that persisted, those that do it for the camaraderie, the teamwork, the championships,
Linköping have won it all!
to those who drilled their dangles, surmised their snipes, and solidified their sellies. Whether a seasoned veteran or a freshly drafted rookie, the stonewalled goaltender or the lauded superstar, it's to you we tap our sticks for leaving it all on the virtual ice because you wanted to be part of something bigger, and you helped us grow it to these incredible new heights. And as we further blend the worlds of virtual and traditional hockey, it's now your time to be elite.
I might be just a little bit biased here, Sin, but I can't help but think we got the best production team in this scene. Incredible work, of course, from F5, Penguin, Crease Police as well, and everyone who helped contribute to stuff like that. Again, us here at NHL Gamer, continuing to try and raise the bar. Sin, we are just a few moments away from the start of this series. Game number 1 in this best of 7. Again, a rematch from last year's final. 10K euros at stake. And again, we talked about it for Philadelphia, looking to become our first back-to-back champions. hREDS looking to reach the mountaintop for the very first time. I think we've said all that really can be said at this stage. Now it's just it's a matter of seeing how it all plays out on the ice from here.
Yeah, and my goodness, this is going to be an incredible series. I have goosebumps, and anyone in chat, if you don't have goosebumps from those hype videos that our great production team made, and just the sheer, anticipation of this series, you may or may not be human, but what else can be said? I'm just ready for this to get started. hREDS Philadelphia, the battle for the crown of the ECL Elite is about to get underway. Tugi, are you as stoked as I am right now?
Again, it does not seem possible that we're already here, that the finals are here. It's a very surreal feeling. It's a bittersweet feeling. It's a marathon. These ECL seasons, a 2-month marathon to get to this point. Once you're here, again, incredibly bittersweet. But I am so incredibly hyped for what this series could bring. Again, a friendly reminder in chat as well. So much going on to pay attention to, particularly for the Finns in the chat, whether it be the Viaplay giveaways that we have going on here as well. Also worth mentioning, of course, in terms of other things to talk about a little bit later on, we are also going to be handing out some awards here tonight as well. Of course, we conduct polls specifically for the players themselves. So these awards voted on by their peers. And in this broadcast tonight, we get to our first 3. We'll be crowning our comeback player of the year, our top transfer, best acquisition, and the rookie of the year will also be handed out tonight. The rest of the awards will be tomorrow as well. So still so much to get through in this particular broadcast here, Sin. Like we said, we always try to raise the bar here for these championship level broadcasts. And there you see the teams are just about ready to go. It is exactly what you would expect, essentially, in terms of the player types. For those unfamiliar, the meta in the European scene, certainly all about puck possession. You see the playmakers, mainly up top, of course, the puck moving defenders everywhere else.
Yeah, and except for Eki, always kind of runs that that playmaker build on the wing. It's what he is, essentially very, very comfortable with. So again, and who's going to argue with potentially, the best player in the world in the NHL scene in Eki? So yeah, it's just going to be exciting here. And at this point, last season, when Philadelphia went on to win their championship, Kape at this point was doing arena-style player introductions for his team over comms. We saw it after the fact on Twitter. A guy like Kape, to have him not only as a top goaltender, but as kind of, the presence that he is, kind of a locker room guy. Look at him, keeping things loose, laughing as they do it, and they're playing to the camera a bit. You don't think that Philadelphia is comfortable? Just look at them. They've been here before. They've won here before. Perhaps a bit more stoic on the end of hREDS there. I'm trying not okay. I'm just forget any point I'm about to make. Jeez, Philadelphia, they're feeling it right now. Absolutely. And hREDS, as we mentioned, kind of maybe a bit more nervous and a bit more serious here as they are, looking for their first championship. A puck drop underway. Take it away, Toogie.
Game 1 is on. Best of 7. Here we go. Early offensive chance here, perhaps for hREDS getting that zone time. Be crucial for them. Puck in front. Nicky Dangles had a great chance there again, rocking the golden helmet as his team's leading scorer. You do love to see how the attitudes heading into this series ultimately differ. Like you said, hREDS very serious, and as we know, Kape and the rest of Philadelphia like to keep it very light. But the puck here in the neutral zone. One of the keys, of course, that Nick mentioned. Not just being the bar. He's right, we are the bar. I look forward to that mohawk there, Nick. I'm intrigued to see how you pull that one off. The chance here. Going down the other way now for Philadelphia, but he talked about how hREDS need to patrol the blue line. They did so quite well there. Unfortunately, an unforced error there results in an offside.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Philadelphia, perhaps one of the better break-in teams, completely be stifled right there early on. That's great for hREDS. They had that chance early on. They stifled them at the blue line. hREDS is looking for anything to build on early on in this series, in this game especially, and that's definitely some good building blocks there. Good blue line stand and an early chance around the Philadelphia net.
Let's fill into the attacking zone here. Good interception on that read by King of Apes. He has it now, but that pass again, a little bit off the mark. Racing for the puck, Benito cancels out the icing. Possession here now for hREDS. D to D work. What a feed there in front. A bit too much heat on that one. This one's banked off the back of the net. Philadelphia trying to hold on to it. hREDS giving them a little bit of their own medicine right now with this forechecking pressure. Turnover. But unfortunately, Villapoika got rid of it a bit too fast. Here's Eki down the other way. Great poke check from Domi in response. And look at Phila getting involved in the attacking zone. Although, what a maneuver by Benito. That maneuver call, that was for you, Nick. I just want you to know. As we move on here, almost halfway through this first period. Space down the middle. Tried that lofted sauce pass. Benito has it again, and that rocketed off the skates of Teemu. Incredible pace here to this first period. Chance on the wraparound. Nearly caught Kape off guard. Benito just not able to put that one home. hREDS right back in on the attack. Domi back to the point. That deflects backhanded swipe to the point. And still hREDS in on the attack. Benito trying to bust out all the moves to catch the defense off guard. An interesting pass there, but it works out for Phila trying to go down the other way. These two teams working very hard to establish that offensive foothold here early on in this series. And right now it's hREDS getting the better of it. And again, still in possession now. Benito for his options. Goes to King of Apes at the point. D to D, risky play. Racing for it is Zeki, and Domi is able to recover. It's in a mistake there by King of Apes that cannot be made frequently in this series. Lucky to not pay for that one.
Definitely. I mean, we mentioned it. Eki perhaps with the great defensive skill stick, almost forcing a chance at the other end. But credit to hREDS. Their defensive sticks to break up the rushes for Philadelphia has been amazing so far. And really, Philadelphia has not been able to establish themselves in the zone. We saw hREDS getting aggressive on that forecheck. And while that's great, they looked almost over-aggressive. And it came down to a great poke check from Domi on the back check to prevent Eki from being able to gain that line there. So they've got to be able to temper that aggression with being careful at the same time, because Philadelphia's counterattacks can make them pay.
It's Phila back in on the rush here. Let's see what they can do. Teemu holding up, loses it in the skates of Nicky Dangles, and again it's hREDS quickly going down the other way. Good job there though again by Eki to help break that up. Again, game 1 of our best of 7 series. 10K euros at stake for the winner. Big thank you to our sponsors once more. Wilhelm, Kovalon, Lakritzi, and Viaplay for help making this happen. Again, for the Finns in chat, opportunities to win a free month subscription to Viaplay. Keep an eye out. We hit the final minute of play here in this first period. Still looking for the opening goal. The hREDS getting the better of the offensive chances. They have space here. Good movement. Benito not able to hold on to it. Perhaps one more rush now for Philadelphia. Down the other way. 7 seconds to go. Here's Eki. Over to Teemu. And they can't gain the line clean. Good poke check by Nicky Dangles, and that will do it for the first period of play. And Sin, a pretty good start for hREDS despite the lack of the opening goal.
Yeah, dare I say, definitely winning that period. They actually have the only registered shot. That just goes to show you how good they've been at that blue line. Philadelphia going to have to find some kind of way to get into the zone right there, as we're seeing a pretty fortunate contact off of Loimu's stick as he was turning right there. A bit of incidental right there. hREDS could have set things up again in their zone, and they really had a heck of a period. Even when they looked like they might, be out of position, someone with a good poke check broke things up. In Philadelphia, usually the team that take away time and space from teams have had their time and space taken away. This is a great start for hREDS.
In our few years now of covering the ECL, I don't know if we've ever seen Philadelphia held to 37 seconds of time on attack in a period. So hats off to hREDS there. But as we always say, when it comes to this game and the competitive scene, shots and time on attack are nice. At the end of the day, goals are all that matter, as it's hREDS leading the puck down the ice. Domi and running into a little bit of trouble there. Good job. Circle out of it and hold on. Villapoica to Benito along the half wall. He goes around the back to Nicky Dangles. Good quick movement from hREDS. Nicky Dangles across for Benito. Just hit the defender. They still have it. Wraparound bid nearly went for Villapoica. Couple of close calls already for hREDS in this series. His playmaker, we haven't seen him too much in the offensive zone. And again, he's completely stifled. hREDS lucky there. It might have been an offside call. They maintain possession at the very least. Villapoica gaining the zone again. Benito down low in front. What a stop by Kape on a point-blank chance. And still trouble here for Philadelphia, but now playmaker. Little bit of space here, trying to fend off the pressure. Puck loose in front, and FaZe is able to find it.
And finally, 5 minutes or so into the second period, Philadelphia finally get their biggest chance of the game. I don't think they've even registered a shot right there. Space has been few and far between, but this is what we talked about. Big face-off offensive zone for Potzloff.
Here we go again. It's hREDS in possession off the draw. Trouble there for King of Apes. Turned over, but a good recovery. Eki had no time to merely handle that one. Still in possession. It's playmaker down low. Dishes back to the point. Looking around. Teemu. Again back down low, and he gets it up high once more. That pass off the mark. Playmaker's there to recover. One-timer kick saved by FaZe. Eki keeps it alive. Back to Teemu. And again, trouble there. Eki sent it across. Loimu's going to pinch in. He's able to hold on to it. Looking at his options. D to D. Down to Eki. That shot poked away by King of Apes. So good offensive zone time for Philadelphia. The best spurt of offensive zone time in this game so far. See Potzloff trying to hold on to it. He sauces it through. Already hit the halfway point of the second period. An incredible pace to this game so far. Again, game 1 in this best of 7. The first 3 games of this series coming to you here today. Tomorrow, of course, same time. 20 CET, CEST, I suppose. We will be here. Again, games 4. Up to how many, we don't yet know. Of course, last year it was a sweep for Philadelphia. hREDS looking to get revenge in more ways than one, and they're back in control here. Philadelphia, it slowed down a little bit for them after that good bit of zone time. Dish down low to Benito. Trouble there, great pressure by the defense. That was Potzloff. Back checking, and Sim, we talked about it a ton heading into this matchup. The willingness of all 6 forwards in this series to get back and help out defensively.
Yeah, every single skater has to be able to help out. That's what both these teams do really well, but Philadelphia getting the line.
Rizaki passes it off the post. Chance for playmaker, couldn't get it through the traffic. Teemu trying to hold on to it. Puck up for grabs. Eki able to settle things down, maybe fending off the pressure from Benito. Playmaker tries to wheel back to the point. Then gets it down low. Pass across. Nearly caught Potzloff in front. And here's Villapoica down the other way. Teemu gives chase. Good interception there to knock it loose. Nicky Dangles nearly had a clean chance in the slot. 3.5 minutes to play here in this second period, looking for this opening goal. How these close matchups tend to play out. Could end up serving as the game winner. Who's to say? Down low for Playmaker. Looking one-timer. What a stop by FaZe. Robbing Eki from the high slot.
Wow, an enormous save right there, keeping this game tied up. That was a heck of a chance there for Philadelphia. The pass below the net. Patslav Playmaker back up top to Eki, and a one-timer stop.
Set play and another stop there. Didn't get to the net with as much ferocity as they wanted, but that one does. Eki finds the space and the opening goal. Philadelphia strike first.
You have to capitalize on your chances because Philadelphia will get theirs and they will not make mistakes. Look at the tenacious forecheck down low, that behind the net pass right there to the short side. Eki making no mistake putting that one home. And Philadelphia, despite having a slower start, despite giving up the chances and unable to establish themselves early, have the 1-0 lead here late in the second period.
A huge opening goal there for the defending champions. Incredible job. We march on. 1-0 now for Philadelphia. Let's see how hREDS respond. Final minute of this second period is Benito stifled there in the neutral zone. It's Eki again in possession. Still holding it now with 7 seconds to go. One more chance perhaps down the other way for hREDS. Nicky Dangles goes for the sauce. Couldn't hit Villapoica. And that will do it. So a huge turn of events there for Philadelphia. Again, held to 37 seconds of time on attack in that first period. Much, much better in the second. And they get the opening goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, they got over 3 minutes in that second period, and they really seemed to be able to sort of break down what hREDS was trying to do there at the blue line. Excellent positioning by Teemu right there. That's what you have to do this year to disrupt those sort of passes. You got to get in the face of that recipient and just kind of stay there and hope that you either get a pickup or enough contact to stifle his shot, etc. so forth. Just expertly played right there by Teemu. The defense from Philadelphia has been great. While hREDS have been able to gain the line, Teemu and Loimu back there have both done a terrific job of limiting their chances. And we'll see what hREDS are able to do here. Down by 1 going into the third.
Have the puck at the point here. Back down low to Nicky Dangles. Benito. And his options goes to Nicky one more time. Back to the point. Good interception by Playmaker. Gets a little bit of space now for Eki. What a spin at the line, but it's knocked loose. And on the forecheck here, Eki and Playmaker causing havoc as they do. Trouble there for the defense. Playmaker wins it back. Has it knocked loose, though. Great job by Villapoica. Again, returning to a top-tier team for the first time in a few seasons. Certainly not out of place. What a chance on the short side for Nicky Dangles. And it does not go. hRED's best chance of this game so far. Pinching in King of Apes. Great poke check there by Teemu. Sin, it's worth remembering last year, again, it was a 4-game sweep for Philadelphia, and I'll get back to that point in a second. Being able to spin the one-timer. Too much traffic, but a trip is called, and hREDS will go to the power play. I mean, again, not that you want to take a trip in that moment, but not a bad idea. It is Loimu, the right defender, who takes a seat.
Yeah, not a bad trip to take in that scenario. You get a chance on the faceoff, you win it. We'll see if they can get the clear. That first clear is always the toughest one.
And they turn it over. Benito looking. Tried to go back. It was knocked loose for the moment by Patslav. Again, Benito. Domi, what a feed. Chance in front tonight on Villapoica's attempt. That one taken to the chest by Kape. A lot of traffic in front, but hREDS still getting offensive opportunities.
Credit to hREDS. Perfect positioning to disrupt any sort of clear attempt right there. They're in the aggressive face-off as well. They have a play in mind.
Let's see if they can pull it off. Off the draw. Domi turns that one over. Benito wins it back. Goes to King of Apes. Circles through. Domi down low. Villapoica trying to circle to the traffic. Nicky Dangles took a swing at it, and it goes all the way back to the neutral zone. 30 seconds to play. In terms of man advantage time for hREDS, I was going to mention 4-game sweep in last year's final. All 4 games were a 1-goal game, so it shows how close this series might be. There were only 14 goals scored over the course of those 4 games combined from these two teams as well. But of course, both underwent changes heading into the season. That one banks off the side of the net, but it's held in by Domi. We're back to 5-on-5, running out of time. Good save by Kape there, off the chance from Domi. Loose puck, Nicky Dangles with a bit of a change-up on net. Just out of the reach of Kape. It was off target. Villapoika tried to feed that in front. And again, Potzloff is there. Different looks, trying to catch Philadelphia off guard. Here's Playmaker. Great poke check by Domi. Go figure, somebody mentioned Domi in particular for some penalty troubles there. He has the puck now. Of course, it was hREDS getting the first power play bid of this series. That puck there, huge hit by Playmaker. Nicky Dangles down. And again, it's Playmaker. Tried to bull rush his way through the middle. Great job by King of Apes to take that one away. Villapoika, little bit of space here. Great poke check by Teemu to take it away. Both defenses giving the opposition hope, only to take it away at the last possible moment. So we have 9 minutes to go in regulation here in Game 1. Again, Philadelphia striking first off the goal by Eki. Power play coming up for hREDS again. If they need it, tried to pick the corner, and Kape makes the stop. Another hREDS power play, not what we would have expected, and it's Teemu taking a seat this time.
Yeah, after just such a great sequence defensively and then leading the rush the other way, he takes a hook right there. Another big chance for hREDS.
Off the tie up there, puck is loose. Domi will keep it in for hREDS. Good movement. Puck in front, bouncing around. Benito's able to recover. Again, knocked loose. Unable to clear. Benito down low, over for Nicky Dangles. Knocked loose and finally cleared. A couple of close calls for Philadelphia there.
Extremely close. They're working that puck towards the middle. They're getting it through, but credit to the defensive positioning, but the blue line hold breaks down.
Here's Domi, slap shot glove, stopped by Kape. Said he made it look easy. That one was pinpointed to that top corner.
It absolutely was, and also what looked easy, a bit too easy, even on a penalty kill, was that zone entry for hREDS. Philadelphia got caught kind of flat-footed there on the line.
Loose puck here is recovered once more. 40 seconds on the power play. Good save by Kape again. Nicky Dangles trying that low far side shot. Domi back to him now. Good movement. King of Apes looking. Shot blocked down. Again, dished back to the point. Good sauce by Playmaker. He's got the speed. King of Apes is with him, and Domi was able to catch up. Great job again by the defense to neutralize that counterattack. But hREDS now 0 for 2 on the power play. A good poke check here by Villapoika, though, to keep this puck in the attacking zone. Again, one back. The possessions change so quickly when you have two teams that are able to cause some trouble there. Great job by Teemu to avoid traffic. Good interception by Domi on the other side. Back into the attacking zone. Domi has it here. King of Apes fires one wide. Benito, it's in! Villapoika got a piece of it. We're tied at 1. hREDS strike.
And that's all about the quick counterattacks right there. Maybe a bit of a mental mistake from Playmaker in the neutral zone, who had Patzloff open on one side, opted to go to Eki, and that went straight into the hREDS traction, who took the puck, got it into the zone, began to work it down low, and got themselves a goal. That is a massive, massive goal for hREDS right there. You can see the hype coming out from them. We have a tie game late in the third. What a response.
It was bound to not be a pretty goal. That's often how it plays out in a situation like this. We are indeed tied at 1. Eki and Villapoika, the offsetting goals. With 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play here in regulation. Sin, we have talked about this all season long. Expect the unexpected. And while normally we save our marathon games for Marathon Monday, I mean, hey, we'll have to think of an adjective to explain what this game could be here on a Friday. What a chance! A swing at it, maybe not. Maybe the commentator's curse exists still as well.
Yeah, that was a bouncing puck that Potzloff found a gift horse right there in the slot. Didn't get all of it right there, and FaZe was able to get the cover, even though he was not quite on his short side like he would have preferred for a chance like that, but it doesn't go in. We're down to the 1 minute, real-time minute. You got to watch your sticks here. You don't want any pens at this stage in the game.
Philadelphia able to get possession back here. They'll drop it all the way back into their zone. Any mistake at this point, as lovely broadcast partner F5 Penguin mentioned, mistakes will be made. Any mistake at this point could be a killer. Puck bouncing around, and Nicky Dangles able to find it. The other way again, knocked loose. Philadelphia in control here. Great patience here. Zaki can't gain the line. Plays it safe with the possession. Under 30 to go now in regulation. Boymu's pass is off the mark. It'll be hREDS who will have a chance here. See how much they choose to wind down this clock. Here's Benito on the backhand. Nicky dangles back to him, draws the trip again. A third power play if they need it. As Domi shoveled it back in on. What a poke check by King of Apes to keep it alive. 5 seconds, D to D, back again, stopped by Kape, puck bouncing around. And he's able to find it with 2.9 to go. A third power play coming up here, and this time, Sin, it's Potzloff.
Yeah, that's huge, especially on what you only have time for a face-off play. This is absolutely massive. It will be Eki taking the draw, and he's no stranger to these situations.
Face-off one, chance, blocked down, no, saved by Kape. Denying King of Apes at the buzzer. Game 1 goes to overtime.
And I'm really surprised he managed to get that clean forehand win off. That was just a straight counter. Eki thought he would have been doing something else. They tried the shot right there. Maybe he was looking for a rebound. I'm not too sure. Actually, it looks like he was trying to pick the corner. Nonetheless, maybe had a bit more time than he thought. Maybe could have threaded that pass right through to Nicky Dangles for a chance. But, you know, might as well at that stage of the game with only those 3 seconds left is to take that shot. Kape swallows it up, and so we go to overtime, perhaps a bit closer than Philadelphia would have thought this would be going here at the beginning. But, you know, that being said, hREDS have been fantastic, and they're going to get some power play time to start things off here in OT.
Indeed, this overtime underway. Who would have thought? Philadelphia, 3 penalties here in game 1. Good movement. One-timer, they score! King of Apes is the hero. hREDS come back to take game 1 in overtime.
Wow, 2 unanswered goals, and they beat Philadelphia here in game 1. Officially no sweep again against hREDS, that is. I mean, still a chance for them to do it. It's going to be hard to believe that they do that to Philadelphia, but they've dealt with their demons. They picked up a win in the finals against Philadelphia. They do it in game 1 overtime. And in spectacular fashion, they made the opposing team pay for their mistakes. Sound familiar? Our buddy F5 Penguin said these teams may make mistakes. It's can you capitalize on them? 3 power play opportunities, 3rd time's the charm for hREDS. And they come away with the victory in game 1. What a game for them. They started out strong. They ended strong. And, you know, credit to them. They stuck in there, and maybe, you know, Philadelphia not capitalizing on all that zone time that they had there for a long stretch in the middle of that game.
No sweep this time out. hREDS do what they could not do last finals. Incredible stuff there from them, guaranteeing at least more than one game in tomorrow's broadcast. Again, games 2 and 3 still to come here tonight. What an unbelievable turn of events that was there. Again, that tying goal, Sin, in the final few minutes. And then to make the most of it and win it in overtime, we said, as you know, you mentioned as well, mistakes were going to be made. Philadelphia, 3 very uncharacteristic mistakes. Again, heading into the playoffs, Philadelphia, the 5th fewest penalties in the regular season. hREDS had the most. Yeah. The tagline for this season was expect the unexpected. And indeed, the finals are delivering there as well. Sim, with that, we will get ready to set the stage for game number 2 in just a few moments. Let's throw it over to a brief word from our sponsors, I should say, and we'll be right back.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
So, Sin, there we have it again. Game 1 in the books. Again, big thank you to our sponsors at Wilhelm, Kouvolan Lakritsi, and Viaplay for helping make this happen this season. Again, sthockey.com for you Finns in the chat that might want to take part in Wilhelm's street hockey tournament going on around Finland. And of course, for the Finns as well. We spoil our Finnish friends here on this broadcast via play as well. Also giving away some codes. Make sure to keep an eye out on the chat as well. Now, Sim, before we set the stage for Game 2, we mentioned this as well. We have the luxury of getting everyone's opinion that is in the Elite Division. We like to conduct player polls for our awards, and we like to have it be voted on by the players themselves, judged by a jury of your peers, so to speak. And we are kicking things off in terms of the awards today with the player that I think, you could judge. You could judge comeback player in a couple of different ways, but ultimately, again, it's always interesting to see who was able to come back and make an impact on the biggest stage after missing a little bit of time. And indeed, comeback player of the year will be our first award that was up for grabs. Of course, some of the players that were featured this season in the voting, the likes of Jansku, Poanzo of Havu Gaming, Kriketsi as well of Goons, someone like Decoder MC as well. And Sin, for comeback player of the year, it was incredibly close in terms of the voting, just 4% of the vote separating first place from fourth. But with 20% of the vote, I am happy to announce that this player here won comeback player of the year of Rusty Blades. Mr. Decoder MC was voted by our players here as our comeback player of the year. Not the season that Rusty Blades would have been looking for, all things considered, but still some respect shown from his fellow players there.
Yeah, definitely. Just an excellent story coming back into that situation. You said it, not exactly the season that they wanted, but on left the fence there, to kind of, lock things down, be able to produce in the way that he did, coming back from all that time off, as you mentioned, well deserving of this award.
Absolutely. So again, later on in this broadcast, we'll be covering a couple of other awards as well, including our Rookie of the Year. And Sin, we're going to take a look back at some of the action from game number 1, of course, featuring last year's Rookie of the Year in phase between the pipes for hREDS. And we'll see the opportunity here, some of those chances in front that he was able to track down. But of course, he was beaten in that game, but a couple of big saves.
Yeah, I mean, that first one right there off the one-timer. I mean, you look back on that one too, the D-to-D one-timer. I mean, those are just, toe saves. Unfortunately, of course, that one leads to the goal. But again, it's the saves like that that are really going to help hREDS out. And this could have easily been a 2-1 game without FaZe back there.
Absolutely. And again, there you see that tying goal with 3:25 on the clock. Sometimes better to be lucky than good, perhaps. And then here, the OT winner for King of Apes. No way for Kape to get to that one. Screened a little bit by the man in front as well. So again, as you see right above my head here, it's over on this side. A 1-0 series lead for hREDS. Again, doing what they could not do last season in this very matchup. Of course, they were swept. We mentioned every single game a 1-goal game. This one was no different. So very intriguing to see what happens now in this one, because we always talk about the response. And for hREDS, heading into that first matchup, we saw them, how stone cold serious they were, focused to say the least, and it pays off. I don't expect that attitude to change. Philadelphia will keep things light in terms of their communication. They've been there, they've done that, they've seen it all. We know that. But very intrigued to see how these two teams start off this next game, especially, again, Philadelphia had just 37 seconds of time on attack in the first period of game 1.
They're not going to be happy with that game 1. They're not going to be happy with their first performance, how they started. They're definitely not going to be happy with how things ended. And again, it was a penalty that led them to that. I can't remember the last time I've seen Philadelphia take 3 penalties in a single game. And for it to happen on a kind of stage like this in a situation where they've been in, you could say they're maybe feeling the heat a bit from that early hREDS onslaught. And that's something that hREDS is going to want to key in on and try to continue that. They started forechecking. We heard it from Philadelphia in another interview. They're like, yeah, we don't know why more teams don't forecheck. hREDS might have been listening. hREDS implemented that into their game. And Philadelphia had some struggles at times exiting their zone. And then Nick talked about especially the better blue line stance from hREDS. Combine that with a stronger forecheck, and you've got yourself a championship caliber team. And we'll see if they're able to earn it here in this 7-game series.
You got to be careful with what you say, because the opposition just might use those words against you. Moving forward into the rest of this series, I mean, number one, you mentioned it with the penalties. I'd be intrigued to know if Philadelphia took 3 penalties in a game at any point this season.
I don't know.
I certainly don't recall. It is that staggering of a turn of events for that first game. And again, game 2 coming up in just a few moments here. Just waiting for the teams to be able to match up here. So we'll see how quickly that ends up happening. But we also talked about it in the regular season. It was a 1-1 split. And the one game that hREDS won in the regular season was 3-2 in overtime. So even if you beat Philadelphia, you have to take them into the deep waters. That's just, they're going to drag you into the deep waters and really make you earn it. And I expect to see more of that as we get ready here for game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And more to that point of, the penalties taken. I mean, Philadelphia throughout the course of the regular season, just 71 penalty minutes total. That was the 5th fewest. And almost half as many as hREDS had. I mean, we talked about it. hREDS took way too many penalties in the regular season, but I mean, they're cleaning up at the right time. If there's ever a time to clean things up, it's here in the finals, and that game 1 was great for hREDS. They have to continue that. They cannot take penalties against this Philadelphia team who throughout the regular season perhaps didn't have a great power play, but here in the playoffs are deadly, and that's what great teams do. They elevate every single aspect of their game into the postseason. And we're seeing it. We saw it from hREDS as well. I mean, here they are. They won that game 1, but it's all about the response now. Philadelphia perhaps didn't want to drop that, first game. It happened. We'll see how they adjust and respond here in game 2.
Get a look at the teams here. A little bit more serious for Philadelphia at the start of this one. hREDS, a 1-0 series lead after an OT winner in game 1 by King of Apes. We'll see how this second game plays out now. Excited, as always, for a matchup between these two teams. No better than a 7-game series. Puck drop, game 2 underway. Again, 10K euros at stake for the winning team in this one. Philadelphia chasing history, looking to be our first back-to-back champions in this division, and of course for hREDS as well, looking to reach the mountaintop for the first time under this banner. Of course, as Sin talked about in the pregame, guys like FILADELPHIA, Benito, and King of Apes have a history together and have won championships under different banners, different team names. We're going to have a power play coming up for Philadelphia very early on. An early mistake here for hREDS as Phila waits for Kape. Here he is on the backhand in front, and that pass is intercepted, but a very early mistake, a tripping call here. Yet to see who is going to the box. The answer is the center. It's Benito.
And that's huge, and they do win the faceoff.
What a set play, but a better block by King of Apes. Tremendous read. As Eki tried to go back to Playmaker, he does have it. Eki down low, waiting him out. Look at the movement. That pass off the mark, but they recover with Loimu. Playmaker again to Eki. Great rotation. One-timer deflection. Second chance. Just doesn't go for Potslov. Good looks, though, for Phila.
Very, very good looks for Philadelphia early in that power play. They still have half of it remaining, and without Benito out there, without their true centerman, Potslov could really have a day. We'll see if he wins another one.
Definitely needs to. Off the tie-up here, though. He comes up with it for the moment. It's knocked loose and sent all the way down by FILADELPHIA. 40 seconds remain on this early man advantage for Philadelphia. So a quick movement to try and gain the line. Great job by hREDS, and again sent all the way down. Great effort from FILADELPHIA. Time for one more rush, but that pass is off the mark. And so far, just one power play goal out of 4 attempts combined for these two teams. A chance here, bit of space. Playmaker went for the snipe. Great stop by FaZe at the blocker.
Yeah, huge stop right there, and unfortunately no one there for the rebound. Everyone kind of skated by it.
Benito taking a tour of the zone here. Good movement to get it back to the point. Nicky Dangles wanted that pass back down low. A little bit off the mark as Eki has it now. Again, still wearing the golden helmet as team leading scorer. I see Nicky Dangles as well, the leading scorer for hREDS. Keep an eye out for those two. There's trouble here in the attacking zone. It's King of Apes winning it back. Looking, tried to wheel that one in front. Great effort from the defender. Got to be feeling confident after scoring that GWG in game number 1. We got to look here at that blue line control for hREDS. Phenomenally done there, Sen.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a night and day difference from this season to last season in their blue line control, and they just stayed just as good, if not got better offensively as well, and that's what the elite teams do. They keep adding those elements to their games.
Villapoica doesn't exactly get the play he would have wanted, but it's still in the attacking zone for hREDS. Benito holding on to it. Can't find Villapoica on the pass. They go all the way back down to the hREDS zone. 8 minutes on the clock here in the first period. For our opening goal, we didn't get it until late in the second period of game one. Nicky dangles the feed in front, just out of reach of Benito. Down the other way, Playmaker has a lot of space. Pass to the point, one-timer, blocked down by the traffic in front. And then quickly turned over. Space here for Eki in the attacking zone. Self-sauce, Playmaker got stuck on the backhand. Finds Eki down low. Ultimately nowhere to go on that attempt. Here's Villapoica. He has speed through the neutral zone. Benito gets the pass across, just off the mark once more. Has a little bit of trouble here for King of Apes. Eki all over him. Drops back for Potsloff. Great job by Domi to take that one away. And again, it's a slow start for Philadelphia in some regards. Both teams, really, though, Sin, struggling to put together passes at crucial times.
Yeah, it seems like they've each done their homework. They know what the other team's tendencies are. That being said, possible 2-on-1. Great
poke check by Eki, indeed, as Nicky dangles just getting back to his feet from that hit. Could have been a lack of energy. Looks like it was. No injury for him. It's 2 minutes to go now in the first. Good interception by Domi again. And both Domi and Teemu, interesting off seasons. Not really sure where they were going to land. Ultimately, both now in the championship round. It worked out pretty well for them. Villapoica's feed in front, intercepted by Playmaker. Under 30 seconds to play now here in this first period. Trying to find the lane past the blue line. Playmaker, a bit of space. Over, stopped by FaZe! And translated another save at the buzzer! Incredible work from FaZe to keep this a tie game at the end of the first period.
Are you serious right now? FaZe with two massive saves right there. The first one, there you will not see a better saucer pass in your life probably. That was beautifully placed, and the shooter got almost all of it. That's an insane pass, even better save. And then the strong forecheck from Teemu. What awareness to realize the clock situation and go kind of all in offensively, and FaZe adjusted to it and made that save. I thought for sure that he was going to put that in the back of the net. FaZe says no, and we remain tied here going into the second.
Sin, no shots on target for hREDS in that first period. Here comes Phila again early in the start of the second. That's what they brought FaZe in here for. We'll always mention last year's Rookie of the Year, last year's top goalie, recruited by hREDS for this season. And you can see why. Not as if hREDS had an issue in goal last year, certainly not, but they brought in the guy who they thought could be the best in the world. And what a set of saves that happened to be. We are still looking for the opening goal of this game. Can hREDS get it on what could be their first shot on target? Benito sends that around. It's Domi now at the point. Back for Villapoica. Benito in the corner. Again dishes to Domi. King of Apes for Nicky Dangles. Puck in front, bouncing around. Nicky Dangles again goes for the snipe hit. Villapoica in front. Thrown on from an odd angle by Benito. And Kape is able to make the save. Tough to make stops when you haven't seen that much action. As Eki's pass intercepted by Benito. That big stretch pass off the mark once more. And Philadelphia will settle it down. Still just some incredible saves. Now we witnessed there an offside call here. Sin, I'm still stunned that we don't have the opening goal. Incredible performance.
As am I. We talked about in the pregame, which is got to make those key saves at key moments and, get some momentum swings, keep their team in it. Well, FaZe made two massive ones there at the end of the first. I mean, just unreal. And here we go. hREDS 2-on-1.
Nicky Dangles looking, loses it in the traffic. Great job by Phila to get back and help out. Good movement now in the breakout as well. And a better poke check by King of Apes. He has been phenomenal. Pass a little bit off the mark. Two numbers here perhaps for hREDS. Benito with a lot of space. Pass over, they score! Nicky Dangles finds it, and hREDS strike first here in the second period.
Well, we heard it from the mouths of Philadelphia. You have to beware of that hREDS counterattack. They get caught just a little bit with a turnover. High in that offensive zone, hREDS come back with numbers and near 3-on-1. It bounces off someone and looks like it just trickles in. I'm not too sure if anyone else got a stick on that or if that just bounced in, but you saw it right there. The turnover at the line and then tried to pass over. Not a bad play from the defenseman to lay down right there, but the puck still finds its way to the back of the net, and hREDS striking first in this one. Philadelphia, they got to kind of be wondering what's going on, almost reeling right here. What is happening? Who is this hREDS squad?
Great performance so far. FaZe with the big stops at the end of the first. hREDS get the opening goal in the second. Here's Villapoica. Benito scores! 2 for 1. It's Nicky Dangles again. hREDS lead by 2.
And the speed game is burning Philadelphia right now. They don't seem to be able to have an answer as hREDS go back to back. Nicky Dangles with a huge capitalization here in the second period, and that's a 2-goal lead for hREDS now. A quick little display of passing that hREDS have been known to do. Just tic-tac goal right there. As you can see, their straight line speed got the better of Philadelphia on that rush. Kope couldn't adjust in time. And Philadelphia's got to be careful here. hREDS a 2-goal lead here in the second.
An incredible turn of events. 2 quick goals for Nicky Dangles. We're halfway through this game. And hREDS lead. Nicky Dangles again back to the point. He's all over the place in the attacking zone. Here he is again. Tried that feed, just couldn't get it through. Philadelphia need a response here. The defending champions on the back foot. There's a whole new team, essentially, that they're facing. I mean, 3 new players out of the 6, but what a change it's resulted in. Here we go, down the other way. Domi for Nicky Dangles. Benito to King of Apes. It's blocked down by the traffic in front. Here's Benito. Has it poked away. Domi shot deflects just wide over the glove of Kope. Philadelphia. Talk about them dragging opponents into the deep water. They're in the deep water now, but a mistake for hREDS. And Phila will go to the power play here, their second of the game.
Have to score.
It is Nicky Dangles this time taking a seat. Good movement, blocked down once more by the traffic in front. Great work. See how this power play opportunity goes. They need a goal here desperately to get some momentum back on their side. The offside call, all that open space isn't going to do it.
No, that was such a good break-in look, but they just got a little antsy at the blue line. I feel for them right there. That was exactly what they wanted. They just jumped, and that's what kind of that 2-goal hole against such a good team will do to you. You feel like you need to kind of make your time in space, and just the offsides there burns them.
There on the half wall, loose puck recovered, playmaker down low, pass in front doesn't go. Benito is able to clear.
And here in the
Becky stuck on the backhand. Pass in front. It's hREDS in possession here. Good poke check there to take it away once more. 3 minutes to go. Almost stunned at this point at how this game has gone, but there's still time. Here's Benito. Over for Nicky Dangles. Tried that pass again, and a decent chance there as it banked off the leg of a defender. Villapoica, the drag to get into open space, and a trip there. hREDS will get their first power play of the game. A bit too aggressive. Playmaker will take a seat.
And this is, again, so surprising right now as it's Philadelphia on the back foot, and you can't say that too often here. But we'll see if hREDS are able to get this 3rd goal. That might just be the dagger with how well they're playing defensively.
Hotzloff able to get possession off the draw, held to the boards. Teemu, trouble, is able to clear. Great work from the defender. Luckily for Philadelphia, the clock, it won't be real time, but it will be still a little bit fast. Here's Villapoica. Back to Domi, King of Apes. Villapoica in front, bouncing around. Domi's tripped as well. 5-on-3. hREDS will be loving that.
Wow, what an opportunity for hREDS here. And for Philadelphia, Oh, what's happening?
Ooh, Nicky Dangles wanted that corner. Glove stop by Kape.
Yeah, and hREDS are just being exceptionally strong here, playing a complete game, forcing mistakes, and they need to make them pay right here on this 5-on-3. This is a huge opportunity for them.
High up on the draw. Puck is loose. Nicky Dangles will be the one to it. One-timer scores! Benito tips it in front. hREDS get another one and are running away with it here in game 2.
I'm stunned right now. hREDS are just showing how much of an improved team they are from season to season. But even from this season to the playoffs, I mean, they're growing in leaps and bounds, growing still right here, and they have a chance to go up 2-0 against Philadelphia here. With now the 3-0 lead in this one, tail end of the second, they capitalize on the mistakes that Philadelphia is making. Their second power play goal in 2 games. And Philadelphia, ball's in your court. Where's your response going to come from?
4 seconds to play here in the period. An offside call. What a turn of events this has been. 3-0 hREDS after taking game 1 2-1 in overtime. Philadelphia stunned. They have the third period to try to pull off the comeback. Minute and a half of power play time will carry over for hREDS.
And again, I'm just kind of shocked right now. I expected the second game to be even more tighter than the first right there, but you said it, hREDS capitalizing on their chances. Go back to that save sequence in the late first period by FaZe. Kept that game 0-0, and now look at it. hREDS with the 3-0 lead right here. So far, hREDS getting the better of Philadelphia. So far, FaZe making the bigger saves at the bigger moments than Kape, and everything seems to go in their way. They're getting the majority of the power play chances. Zone time, etc. has been kind of split here, but hREDS getting the higher quality because, as we said, they're forcing those mistakes out. And Philadelphia are going to be desperation mode here in this third period. But that might feed into hREDS counterattack.
Face Benito, backhand stop by Kape. What a save. That was nearly a 4-goal game. Nicky Dangles, King of Apes glove stop again. Kape coming up with some big saves. Certainly one more goal would end it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Philadelphia right now just under siege. They're holding on for dear life. They got to get that man out of the box and back into the O-zone.
Off the draw, here's Domi. Nicky Dangles for Villapoica, takes a bounce. Trouble here. Teemu able to get that pass away. 10 seconds on the man advantage. We are back to 5-on-5 as Eki is out of the box. Don't feel like we really got to sell that enough that it was Eki that made that mistake. Offside call here, 2:02 into the third. A stunning 3-0 lead for hREDS here in game 2. We know they were sick and tired of hearing that they were swept last year. What a performance this is to kick off this championship series. The attacking zone, Benito down low in the corner. Nicky Dangles to help him out, gets it again back down low. Shot there, Domi denied. Secondary pass in front doesn't go. That one bounces back. It's hREDS in control again, and for Philadelphia. You got 15 minutes to work with here. You need 3 goals without giving up another one. Against lesser teams, certainly possible. Is it possible against hREDS with how dynamic of a team this is, with how strong of a unit this squad happens to be at this point? And there's another offside call.
There's just no space. There's no time and space. And when there is a little bit of space perhaps to skate with, they're opting to kind of almost pass it in the trash. And it seems like they want to do something. And hREDS is almost knowing what they want to do before they even pull it off. And that's just creating no space.
Becky had nowhere to go with that shot. Trouble there. Potsloff couldn't keep it alive. Here's Benito. A lot of space. Elect not to shoot. Cuts back. Trying to hold it down low in the corner. Villapoica looking now. Domi has options. Shrugs off the defender. Puck again down low in the corner. Benito looking. Where's he going to go with it? Killing valuable time here for Philadelphia. In the process, they still have it. So it's finally poked away. Playmaker able to hold it. Now just 11 and a half minutes to go for Philly. They need 3 goals. Completely stifled at this stage. Worth noting, you heard it mentioned as we have another offside call. I mean, Sim, we've seen crazier things happen. We've seen a 3-0 comeback in the championship round before. But Philadelphia right now, the best team in the world over the past few seasons, and they are being completely stifled.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it. They are being shut down before they could even gain the zone right now. And when hREDS have it, look at that. It's a possession game to them. And why not wind that clock down away from your own end?
Again, taken away. Here's Benito in all alone. He scores! hREDS take a 4-0 lead here in the third period.
And that is, I believe, 3 goals directly off of the counterattack for hREDS. You know it's coming. You want to stop it. But when you're this aggressive, I mean, this almost sounds like I'm talking about Philadelphia. When you have to play into them, that's when they can burn you. And that's how we've historically talked about Philadelphia. Here's hREDS throwing that game right back into their face. A huge goal for Benito there, 4-0. And I think you can kind of put a cap on this one. I don't see Philadelphia coming back with what they've shown us so far in this game. hREDS are having a monster of a series so far.
There is a long way to go. But could we perhaps be on the verge of a changing of the guard here in the Elite Division? Chance there, stopped by FaZe. Great reaction to deny Eki on a chance as playmaker. Had the puck stripped away. He's robbed of a grade A chance. Puck still bouncing around in front. hREDS handle it well. This one's going to be sent all the way down. Benito gives chase. He's going to beat out another icing call. Keeps that clock ticking. Great work again by Villapoika. Shot on. Rebound chance for Villapoika. Doesn't go. Sim, we called him the missing piece up top. That was to not disrespect the man he replaced, but to get back with players that he had previously had success with in the ECL Elite Division. We have another penalty coming up for Philadelphia. King of Apes shot off a leg. Benito tried the 1T. It doesn't go. It is the 6th power play opportunity for hREDS in less than 2 games, as it's Loimu who will go to the box.
And this is just shocking. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's just, hREDS are forcing out all the mistakes for Philadelphia, and they're reeling right now. Great face-off win.
Villapoika has it here. hREDS are 2 for 5 in the series so far. Apes looking, good block by Playmaker. It's still held on to by hREDS. Benito looking, pass to Apes. Domi shot stopped by Kape. Great save. Again, working it at the point. Domi. Villapoika back to him. King of Apes. Villapoika again. Eki, great defense. Looked like he drew the trip. I think it was just a stumble. Some valuable time being taken off of the clock here. And indeed, the empty net. I think we're going to have an equalizing penalty here. And indeed, we are. So Eki was tripped. And Philadelphia, they will have a chance here on this power play of coming up at least 4-on-4 for 26 seconds with 3 minutes to go. Playmaker's able to get that one. Hotslot. Shot from Temu. Blocked down. What a stop. FaZe with another big save denying Eki.
A monstrous performance by FaZe. I mean, yeah, hREDS have 4 goals. Their offense, their counterattack has looked amazing, but FaZe is a brick wall right now, just rising to the occasion, and this is why hREDS picked them up.
Made the joke of FaZe can. The playoff of FaZe Clan, of course, and indeed he can. What a series for him so far. 1 minute of power play time for Philadelphia. This game is done and dusted, but right now you're hoping for some sort of momentum builder. Again, Game 3 coming up in just a little bit. 4 and beyond tomorrow night, of course, the same time that this broadcast started. 20 CEST, shorthanded bid for Benito. He scores again. The hat trick for the captain. It's 5-0.
And this is looking ugly here. And if you're hREDS, yeah, you're going to want to keep on the pressure here. But for Philadelphia, you know, they're getting desperate. They have to attack. So the scoreboard's not going to look great. They're not going to feel great about themselves. But what else can you do when you're in desperation mode? hREDS have put them in this position, a position that Philadelphia is not familiar with. We talk about making adjustments. We talk about, you know, playing your game. Philadelphia has been pushed off their game by hREDS here. They have been pushed into situations that perhaps they're not even comfortable with, and for the first time in a couple seasons, we're saying Philadelphia has to find a way to adjust and come back because they're about to go down in this series 2-0.
Absolutely incredible, and another penalty there. The 7th
Is this
for Philadelphia.
Is this tilt?
I'm stunned. I'm
I
absolutely stunned.
yeah.
It's playmaker again. Chance here. Nicky Dangles just misses that blocker side. Gets it back. Absolute. I mean, just an absolute stunning turn of events. I think you can tell from Sin and I here. This is a shocking result here. 25 to go in what has been an astonishing game 2. The last 5 times, if not more, Benito has 4. 6-0, another power play tally. A destruction of the defending champs here in the championship round.
And hREDS are just flying right now. They got to be feeling it. What a way to start the series. You're looking for some confidence after getting swept last season. How about going up 2-0? How about blowing out Philadelphia, who has done this a number of times to many other teams? They're getting a taste of their own medicine right now, and that's what you do. That's what champion teams do. You don't quit. You play every single second, and you play it hard. And that's exactly what they've done so far. No mercy.
A penalty called here. Philadelphia will end this game on the power play, looking to at least get one. They have 8 seconds to do so. Kape is out for the empty net. Nicky Dangles holding it down low. 3 seconds to play. Teemu, shot blocked. Job done. 2-0 hREDS. A shutout for FaZe here in game 2. How is that for a message sent?
That's not a message in a bottle. That is a message smacked into your face. It's Matt Damon and Goodwill Hunting. How do you like them apples? hREDS are... I mean, I'm stunned. Their performance alone. Now, FaZe got a shutout. You see a 6-0 scoreline, you're like, all right, well, how hard did the goalie have it? Very, very hard early on. He had to make some enormous saves. He only comes out with the 9 save and shutout, but 5 of those were in that first period. And those 2 at the end of the period, though, that was the momentum shift right there. Those 2 massive saves not allowing Philadelphia to get on the boards. hREDS gets a goal, they get another one. All of a sudden, they're snowballing, and that's usually what Philadelphia does. That's how they play, and hREDS has done a masterful job of taking elements out of the games of these previous champions. Philadelphia did that when they started becoming more defensive like Havu. hREDS did that. They played that defensive series against Havu, and they beat them at their own game, and here they are, up 2-0 against Philadelphia, able to score and are shutting down Philadelphia at the same time. They're poking all kinds of holes in that Philadelphia game, and they have a 2-0 series lead because of it.
Absolutely stunned. Very tough, despite it being our job, to find the words right now for what we just saw there. We have never, from my recollection, since seen Philadelphia picked apart like that. That was a history-making performance there. hREDS, 2 wins in the books, 2 away from crowning themselves champions. Again, game 3 coming up here in just a few minutes. We hope you'll join us, of course, for the back half of this series tomorrow. No matter how well it may, or how long it may go, we saw a sweep last year, Philadelphia over hREDS. Who knows what could happen now tomorrow? Just absolutely stunning. We are going to take a second here to try and collect ourselves, I think is the best way to go about it. Again, a quick word from our sponsors. We will be back as well, handing out another award and setting the stage for game number 3. Don't go anywhere.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
we've played so long together. Like every year, I think we're getting better, and chemistry builds up, and it shows on the ice. I think
probably gonna be a better final than last year. 4-0 was kind of huge disappointment for us, but I think now we are overall better team. We have more variation, hard to defend.
We've always had the main core. Usually the lefty is what has changed in the past as well. So of course I think that's the most important thing, to build chemistry every year.
I think I'm kind of thrilled to see what we can do at Villa in the final as well, because our hopes are up. Like, we think we could beat them. Like, there is no team that in good day we couldn't beat, and yeah, let's create some hype to the finals.
Our final, second year in a row again, defending champions in Philadelphia, a rematch against hREDS. You are not going to want to miss that.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, we are back again. A big thank you for sticking with us here. Our ECL Elite Division final, games 1 through 3. 2 are in the books. We're about ready to set the stage here for our third game and a final game of this broadcast. Again, game 4 and beyond tomorrow. You're gonna want to check in on that one. And of course, we're looking to see whether or not Philadelphia can make things a little bit more interesting heading into tomorrow. Who would have thought? A 2-0 series lead for hREDS. Now, Sin, before we move on here with setting the stage for that third game, we do have another award to hand out here. Of course, this one, call it Acquisition of the Year, call it Transfer of the Year, but we wanted to get the word from the players themselves on who they thought was the best pickup of the season. Who was that big game-changing acquisition that helped take their team to the next level? And I am excited, of course, here to be able to give you the results for this one. And Sin, it was a runaway. You had members of Philadelphia up for voting. You had members of hREDS up for voting. Every single person that changed team was up for voting, but there was one that stood above the rest. With 21% of the vote, second place was tied for 8th. The runaway winner was Laminance of Färjestad, the big game-changing acquisition there as voted on by his fellow players. So Laminance getting a nice little shout-out, Sin, and no doubt FBK, the team to watch out for next year. It's certainly a big 3. They're definitely trying to lock down the big 4, and he, no doubt, was a game-changer this season.
Yeah, absolutely. He came in and he was absolutely phenomenal for Färjestad, and having that existing chemistry with Antonio helped a lot. Remember, they played as defensive partners on Vesapampa. Now Antonio as a forward, Lehman as a defenseman. They're on the same side of the ice, and you can see that chemistry shifting for each other. The passes, the connections, it was all there. And Lehman's has just grown in leaps and bounds as well as a defenseman. He was just incredible. Put up a ton of points and shut things down, and I mean, just absolutely a great pickup for Färjestad.
Absolutely. And again, tomorrow we will name our top forward, defender, and goaltender, and our team of the year in general. Still to come at the end of this broadcast, though, upon the conclusion of Game 3, Rookie of the Year. Sim, we've mentioned it a couple of times in this broadcast. Phase 1 Rookie of the Year last year. Look at him now. He just shut out Philadelphia in Game 2 of the championship round. absolutely stunning turn of events there. So certainly that award right now has an interesting lineage. And we look here at some of the highlights of Game 2. And again, how important were those saves right here at the end of the first period? Philadelphia's best chance. And again, hREDS ran away with it from there in the second period.
Yeah, and right there, that turnover at the blue line, that was the beginning of the end. We didn't know it at the time, but that turnover right there fed that counterattack of hREDS. Philadelphia talked about it throughout the interviews. You know, they're gonna get those counterattacks. That's where they're most dangerous. Philadelphia had no answer for it, and it starts with defense. hREDS being as good as they are on that blue line is creating those turnovers and feeding that counterattack. And there's plenty of goals to go around. That one, a howitzer from the point right there, a one-timer from Domi, scoring in the same location that King of Apes actually scored on too. And then Benito, 2-3 breakaways he got, and I think capitalized on every single one of them.
He scored 4 straight goals to end the game, did Benito, including a shorthanded bid that you see right there. Just, I mean, again, I don't think in our time here, we've been with the ECL now. God, Sim, what was this? Our 4th season at this point, and we have never seen Philadelphia get ripped apart like that. I don't know if it's the commentator's curse, of course, that we always seem to jinx some of these top teams. I know some members of Havu would like us to not talk because there have been times where we've been like, hey, this is one of the best teams in the world. And then unfortunately, it doesn't end up being their day. We may have jinxed Philadelphia here as well. But if there's anybody that can win this third game against hREDS and make it a 2-1 instead of a 3-0 series lead, it would be Philadelphia. And in talking about what they have to do, I think here I have to look at the penalties. And again, I never would have expected this. Philadelphia, 0 for 4 on the power play. They have given up 3 power play goals now on 7 attempts. 7 penalties in 2 games for Philadelphia is just, again, among one of the most surprising things I think we've ever seen in terms of calling a series.
Yeah, they've just they've been solved essentially. hREDS looked at their game, they did their homework, and they solved them. They figured out a way to beat them, and they're working it to perfection so far. Now, that being said, this next game absolutely is a must-win for Philadelphia. But with that in mind, remember they came back from a 3-1 series deficit against Havu to win the championship. This is a team that can come back. They can completely change the outlook of a series. Now, that being said, that series against Havu, the games were a lot closer, but when it comes down to it, 6-0, 3-2, a loss is a loss. It doesn't matter. It matters to your mental state. Philadelphia is going to have to not get on tilt as they, you heard from Kape, accused hREDS of getting, to get tilted at times. Now Philadelphia might be the ones getting tilted. I saw it a bit there. Playmaker taking a slap shot into the zone. Then briefly after that, taking another penalty. Perhaps that was a bit of tilt coming out from Philadelphia. They've got to get their minds right and get ready here because this game right here is massive.
Again, the 2 teams together, exception of Kape, of course, for Philadelphia. The chemistry, the communication is there. Game 3 is underway. What could be viewed as a must-win game for Philadelphia now at this stage. Who would have thought we'd be saying that? 2 games into a series, but we still have a long way to go here. It's hREDS in the attacking zone to kick things up. Benito has it down low, again coming off of a 4-goal game. Shot by Apes, and that one may have deflected wide. Kape may have just gotten a piece of it. That pass off the mark, a little bit of interference there. Of course, legal interference. We have an early ice.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate break there. You want to see Philadelphia get out of the gate strong and early, and right now it's hREDS, starting to that cycle of hammering them in their own zone, and that's what continues to get Philadelphia in trouble.
10-2, I want to point out, 4 of those Benito goals, 1 unassisted. The other 3, both assisted by Domi and King of Apes. So you look at those defenders getting involved for hREDS and how crucial they have been. Absolutely a tremendous performance from them so far. We are a few minutes here into the first period of this third game. And a big thank you as well to our sponsors one more time, of course. Wilhelm, Kovan, Lakutsi, Viaplay, of course, the Finns in chat. The offer from Viaplay is there for your chance to win one of many codes for a free month subscription. And of course, ST Hockey, I do I believe it was there. Of course, Wilhelm running a street hockey tournament all across Finland. If you use the code Wilhelm, you can get 50% off your entry fee. So for the Finns in chat there, get out, enjoy some street hockey. Lord knows Sin and I are quite jealous from the highlight package that we got to see. That looks awesome. Maybe someday we'll be able to get over there and get involved, who's to say. But here we go now. Again, bit of a slow start for these two teams offensively so far, and it's in that anxious energy, although maybe not so much as Philadelphia. Big forecheck there to try to avoid the icing. I mean, there's got to be some nervous energy in a situation like this.
Absolutely, and I think for both of these teams, hREDS are in a position where there's now a lot of pressure on them to keep going and not to drop the ball here.
Ooh, big blocker saved by Kape there. Nicky Dangles got a couple of times to pick the corners. He had 2 goals in that last game, in case you forgot. Benito kind of ran away with it on the score sheet. Here he is again in that quick feed back to Villapoika. Just doesn't go. Potzloff up the middle, dishes over to Eki. Over to Playmaker there on the off wing. Zeki, who was down low. Regardless, hREDS going back down the other way again here. Back to the point. King of Apes. That sauce was nice. Got around. I think that was Playmaker who was down there. Left bumper hold. Stick to the ice. Again, bit of a slow start here, Sin. Back and forth right now. These two teams kind of stalemating one another.
And Philadelphia's gotta make some adjustments here on the break-in. What they've been doing so far isn't working with enough frequency that they're used to. I think they need to change things up. We've seen hREDS a couple times breaking out that dump and chase, even going with some kind of what I'd call like indirect dumps with saucer passes. A shot there, swallowed up by Kape. But continuing on that point is we've seen hREDS almost make area passes to themselves. So I'm kind of calling that a dump in itself, and they're really just trying to get behind that Philadelphia defense and set up the cycle.
One-timer blocked down. Again, that's Playmaker getting in front. Has the puck here, trying to get through King of Apes. Easier said than done. And he has it once more. 5 minutes to go here in this first period. Anxious energy for both sides. That first goal incredibly important, to say the least. Philadelphia in the attacking zone. Pass just redirects wide. Still here, though. Loimu dishes it down low. Philadelphia. 1 goal through 2 games, and a close moment there. Again, Faye has had a phenomenal set of saves. He dishes off to his left. Now hREDS at least attempting to. Nicky Dangles with some struggles on that right-hand side. So Philly can gain the zone. They do, but only momentarily. The stalemate of the blue lines. Big interception by Nicky Dangles. Domi now. Trying to work with Benito to find space. Nowhere to go. We hit the final minute of play here in this opening frame. Philadelphia trying to get on the board here. Benito has it. Yeah, I think he was going for the move there. Ends up down on the ice. Domi across. Good look. 3 seconds to play. Puck turned over. Shot save. Rebound was there, but taken away by the defense. An interesting first period, to say the least, in a bit of a different feel to it, to say the least.
It started out kind of slow, and you can see both teams, especially hREDS, kind of almost, nervous. They're in such a situation where, they haven't been in before against Philadelphia. So even though you're up in the series, you got to feel some kind of pressure now, because it's like the collapse would be spectacular if it happens, and if Philadelphia comes back, you have to keep playing them the same way game in and game out. That could be so difficult to do, especially against a team like Philadelphia, who are just so good. But hREDS continuing to do it, and look at that, almost identical to game 1. 0 shots and only 38 seconds of time on attack for Philadelphia. This is they're again, and for them, they're in a situation they're 100% not used to, is getting this little amount of time on attack, as that puck almost found the back of the net. Just getting the top corner of the blocker on it was Kape. If that shot aim had just been a bit higher and to the left, that was a goal, barring the knob of the stick being the savior. But Philadelphia, again, I just feel like they need to do a bit more of adjustments. Usually they're able to outplay most teams and outgrind them and outdo everything, but now they're down in the series. They've been down in games. They're not able to play their style as they want. We're going to have to see the Philadelphia from a few seasons ago coming back and getting down and dirty and getting some rough goals and just really working for every single inch.
Regular season stats: hREDS the number 1 offense, the 3rd best defense. Philadelphia the number 2 offense and the 1st ranked defense. You see how close these two teams are, but still shocking results here so far. Philadelphia trying to get in on the attack here. Potsloff for Playmaker down low. Takes the hit, can't make the play. It's Eki covering in defense. Of course, Eki, the European GWC champion once more. Both these sides have players that are capable, of course, the one-on-one game and the sixes game as well. Let's see what happens now into the attacking zone. That one taken away quickly by Eki. Here we go now. The dump and chase, and they find open space as well. Potsloff has it in the corner. Goes back to the point with Loimu. Finds Eki. Great poke check by Domi to take that one away equally as fast. But mistimed at the blue line. 14:02 on the clock here in the second, still looking for our opening goal.
More of what we just saw, that dump and chase right there, the cross-corner dump. That's a very North American style play right there, and I'd like to see a lot more of that in the European scene in general, but especially if you're struggling to break that puck in.
Here's Playmaker, saw a lot of it in the pro division, so it shows how different the elite is. Great chance for Eki on the doorstep again. FaZe stands tall.
And he has done just that throughout this entire series, has only allowed one goal against in these two games.
0. Make it 7 face-offs to 0, by the way, now, son. Sorry to cut you off.
No, thank you
Benito
for that.
He's dominating Potsloff. He's got space up the middle, and he can't get the shot off clean. Benito might have to be the favorite for MVP right now. We always like to know who chat thinks the MVP would be. We'll find out upon the conclusion of this series, and then, of course, the team-based MVP. The team voted MVP. I mean, man, who do you choose? Between someone like Benito or someone like FaZe right now, my goodness, have the hREDS players come to play today. That's another pass off the mark, essentially a dump in. And it's Philadelphia just not able to get that forechecking pressure going. Here's the counterattack again. Villapoika can't hold on to it. And Sin, I mean, Eki mentioned that. I think so did Kape, how dangerous hREDS are on the counterattack. I don't know if it's allowing Philadelphia to play their style. The big spin shot save! What a kick stop by FaZe. Philadelphia still in the attacking zone, at least for the moment, as that one goes off a leg. What a goaltending performance we've seen from FaZe in this series so far.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Benito, but he would be my choice right now. He is making amazing saves, and saves that Philadelphia would usually see goals in, and he just keeps stopping them, keeps finding a way, a body part to get on that puck.
Again, Nicky Dangles takes it away. 6 minutes to play. Still looking for that first goal. Villapoika tried to throw a shot on. Just knocked down by the defender there. Playmaker, nowhere to go. Never seen him stifled like this. Here's Benito, backhand pass across. Second chance doesn't go. Third chance again broken up. Intercepted. Nicky Dangles throws it on in the big kick save. That point-blank slap shot bid. The turnover's killing Philadelphia right now. King of Apes keeps it in. Domi shot deflection bid doesn't go either. Benito, that's how he scored his first goal of game number 1. Or excuse me, of game 2. The first goal of game 2 for him out of the 4. 3 minutes now in this second period. Playmaker, bit of space, nowhere to go. Has to dish back to the point. Again down low. Potsloff, Playmaker looking. Eki shot denied. FaZe makes another save.
There's that play once again that they got that goal in game 1 off of. They look for it once more. That time, FaZe able to squeeze those pads together and get the smother.
Tie up off the draw. hREDS again have possession. Don't know if it's a credited win, but regardless, incredible to see Potsloff getting dominated on the face-off draw like this. As they gain the zone, here's Nicky Dangles, shot on, rebound! It's on the goal line, and the whistle goes, no goal. Philadelphia thanking their lucky stars right now, that close to trailing.
Dodged a huge bullet right there. That's another quick strike from hREDS that just kind of catches Philadelphia off guard here. They've got to find something, but they overskate the puck pickup.
Here's Benito, pass over, just wide for Villapoika on the backhand. 5 seconds as the puck will go all the way down. We go to the third period of game 3, a goalless affair so far. And Sin again now for Philadelphia. You are down 2-0 in this series. You have not scored since the second period of game 1. They have 1 goal. 1 for Philadelphia heading into the third period of game 3. this is must win. Based off of what we're seeing, if you don't win this game and you're down 3-0, I mean, that's a 1 in a million bet for them to come back based off of how this is going right now.
It really is, especially with FaZe playing at the level he's playing at. I mean, again, anything can happen, of course, but you have a goaltender like FaZe giving you these chances to win and putting you in this sort of position where you're holding a great team like Philadelphia. It's only 1 goal so far in 3 games. Yes, we have this last period to play. They need one. At this point, all you need to worry about getting the win. Doesn't matter how you get it. Doesn't matter how many goals you score, but that will matter going into tomorrow. You have to address that concern. You have to be able to score goals to win hockey games.
Third period is a go. Philadelphia, a ton of pressure on their shoulders. And another offside call. It's incredible, Sid, how accurate one Mr. F5 Penguin was in terms of his assessment. Philadelphia struggling to gain the zone consistently. 9-1 the draws, make it 9-2. We'll see what they can do on this attack. Potzloff able to hold to Eki at the point. Teemu backhand on, doesn't find a way through the traffic. And now a bit of space. Nicky Dangles off the bounce. Benito has it poked away. Good look for hREDS. Better defense from Phillip.
There's a brilliant drop pass right there, trying to generate some space from a almost kind of panicking, over-collapsing Philadelphia team. But here they are in on the attack. Some L-skating. They find their way through.
Recovers over to Eki. Blocked. Potzloff. Playmaker. Stopped by FaZe. Incredible work from the second-year elite pro in FaZe, the netminder for hREDS. They have it here, looking space. Villapoika stopped by Kape, and he squeezes the legs to keep it out. Let's not forget Kape, one of the best to do it.
All right, that's a great look right there. Villapoika all alone on the one-timer. Kape makes that save and is able to sort of control the rebound well enough to kill that opportunity.
Benito, Nicky Dangles nearly got that dangerous shot off. Deflection stopped by Kape. Again, Nicky Dangles denied. What chances for hREDS? Kape coming up huge for Philadelphia. Blood in the water here. hREDS all over him. Benito tried that odd-angle shot. Almost a wraparound bid. Nicky Dangles trying to keep it alive, and finally Phila with a chance to breathe, but they can't do anything once they gain the line. The outlet pass here for Benito. He's forced to hold up. Drops back for King of Apes. They do gain the line, but that pass off the mark, they're forced to reset. Good look for Domi. Finds Nicky Dangles. Puck again, unable to be held in. But we're halfway through this third period now. Again this time. A chess match in the neutral zone right now for these two clubs. Benito shot on, taken to the chest, and a face-off is forced.
And this is just unreal. It's... like you said, yeah, chess match at this point, and it's feeling like first goal's gonna be the winner, and that's just such a scary situation to be in.
Benito has it here to the point, blocked down by Playmaker. Potzloff couldn't get to it. hREDS still in control. Big hit. Domi tries to throw a backhand on, maybe a bit of a buffer there. Philadelphia can't gain the line. Domi has had the best games I have ever seen him play in this series so far. He has been absolutely stupendous. 6.5 to go. Philadelphia are defending champions. This is season 12. They have been to the finals every season since season 7. 3-time winners. They beat hREDS in the finals last year via a sweep. Philadelphia with the one change. You see him there. It's Teemu in the lineup. Jay Toro, of course, departed for Havu. Shot on. Stopped by FaZe. And for hREDS Sim, we talked about it. That complete change to the left-hand side. Villapoika and Domi in. FaZe in goal. And it has given this team that had high hopes to begin with even higher aspirations. 4 minutes to play in regulation. The next goal, safe to say, is the winner. Benito has it. Up to Domi at the point. King of Apes shot loose in front and handled well by Loima. Loima has it again. Benito really putting the pressure on. Again, hREDS have thrown Philadelphia's game plan in their face. Here's Playmaker cutting in. Puck in front and handled by the defense. What a chance for Playmaker, but the defense was there. Puck again in the attacking zone. Villapoika recovers. Benito has it in the corner. Final minute of regulation. D to D. Shot. Loose puck. Nicky Dangles has a shot taken to the chest. What a stop by Kape off a great look for King of Apes.
Yeah, perhaps thinking he would overcommit, opted to go for that kind of the farther side right there instead of the short side. Kape able to smother it.
Off the draw. Villa have control here. Again, only momentarily. 40 seconds to play in regulation. Will it be a 2-1 series lead or a 3-0 heading into Game 4 tomorrow? Again, 20 CEST. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of you on the North American side of things, as Kape finds that and covers. 26 seconds to play.
Potzloff has to win this face-off. He has been struggling in this game, but he has to win this. They want to get a chance. They got to win this and get a break-in of some sort.
Off the draw, clutch win for Potzloff there. Hasn't won the majority of them, but if you're going to win them, win the really, really important ones. Benito strips him of the puck, stepping in. He's denied the chance. Puck still loose. Benito has it again. Nicky Dangles, it's blocked. And Philadelphia survive a scare. 7 seconds to go in regulation. And for Phila, they get it to Playmaker. 1 second to go. And time runs out. We go to overtime for the second time in 3 games. This time, though, still looking for that opening goal. The first goal will be the winner.
Yeah. I mean, here's something that I've been thinking about and that we haven't seen. We have not seen an odd man rush or a breakaway for Philadelphia in this entire series. That doesn't happen. That simply does not happen. Philadelphia are always able to get odd man rushes. They're always able to get breakaways. hREDS have been lights out defensively. And of course, great goaltending from FaZe, but they've done such a good job of not allowing Philadelphia to do what they want to do. And it's kind of unreal that we haven't seen Philadelphia get that. Between Eki, Playmaker, they're able to force those turnovers. The defensemen of hREDS are not only moving that puck incredibly fast, but their own blue line holds, you mentioned it, have been phenomenal. Domi, as I will agree, he has played the best hockey we've ever seen him play. King of Apes is at a stage in his career where he is the best he's ever been defensively. He's always been great offensively. We've seen some occasions where he's been kind of exploited defensively. And no longer is that the case here. Overtime, Game 3.
As expected, aside from Game 2, the games have been close, but it has been hREDS getting the better of the play, despite the close score lines. You heard it from Kape earlier. I think Eki as well reiterated that point. All 4 games were a 1-goal game last year. Showed how close it was. Shot by Nicky Dangles, denied by Kape. Next goal wins. Sudden death overtime, no matter how long it goes. We kicked off this ECL season in the Elite Division with a 5-overtime thriller. So who knows how long this one may last. We will be with it until it reaches its conclusion. A seemingly must-win game for our defending champions in Philadelphia. Entered today, aspirations of being the first back-to-back champions in this division's history. hREDS looking to get redemption for last year. Domi denied. Good save by Kape. Wraparound bid stifled. Benito looking short side. That one looked like it was blocked, and this will be poked out of the zone. Good looks for hREDS, and then right back in on the attack. At least they were for the moment. That was a good hit. Puck still kept in. Benito holds, looking, and way too much traffic on that pass attempt. For Philadelphia, what's it going to take? The different outlooks, depending on the result of this game, heading into tomorrow, and adjustments that could be made. A fortunate turnover there. Great job by Eki to win it back. And again, tremendous defense. And again, you mentioned King of Apes. I've mentioned Domi. This is the best defense I have seen hREDS play all season. This is astonishing.
Yeah, and if you look back on that last play right there, all 5 of them were moving in sync from the forecheck to the blue line stand. It was a thing of beauty.
There's the pass in front again, intercepted. And again, poked away. This is just unbelievable. For anybody familiar, for anyone that's followed us this season and in the past, those familiar, I mean, again, this is, I don't know if we have ever seen through their battles with Havu. I don't know if we've ever seen Philadelphia shut down like this. This is a team that has a legitimate claim. You talk about some of the top teams in North America, the Olympias of the world. Philadelphia's right there with a claim to be the top team in the world. And certainly the club that might come to mind, along with the Havu or an hREDS, to say, if we were to have a tournament, who would be the best in the world? And for the Euros, I think Philadelphia would get the majority of the nods. hREDS are making that a much more interesting conversation moving forward. There's a huge hit there, drops Villapoica, so a numbers edge here momentarily. Here's a chance. That one picked off by Benito. We've seen teams try different looks, short side options, deflection bids. The heavy collapse, it's tough to get those deflections. There's Domi. Finds Villapoica in the corner. Looking at his options. Nicky Dangles. Over to Benito. Still in the corner. Back to the point. King of Apes to Domi. Shot. Again, deflected wide. Too much traffic in front. Puck again down low. Held in by Villapoica. Tried that cut back to the short side. Trying to tuck it home. Doesn't go. Benito. To Domi. Back down low to the captain. In the corner. Waits for the pressure to come. It doesn't. King of Apes at the point. Villapoica back to him. Shot saved by Kape. Villapoica in front, goes all the way through and out of the zone. 2 minutes to go in this overtime. Philadelphia still on the back foot. King of Apes for Domi. Trouble. Gets it to Nicky Dangles on the half wall. Back to King of Apes at the point. With speed, Nicky Dangles. Villapoica scores! 3-0 hREDS. They have a chance to win it all tomorrow. One win away from being crowned champions.
Unbelievable. That pressure that they just mounted against Philadelphia was awe-inspiring. That, I mean, they couldn't touch them. They literally couldn't touch them. They ducked every hit. They held every loose puck. They got to every rebound. They won the 50-50s. Philadelphia got it out. They brought it back in. And hREDS, look at that stat line. The majority of that time on attack at the end there was from the end of that overtime. Make no mistake. That was incredible work from hREDS. 18 shots to 5. 1-0 win in overtime and a 3-0 series lead. I will say again, a 3-0 series lead for hREDS against the defending champs in Philadelphia. We have a new storyline brewing here in the Euro scene, and it is hREDS and their dominance thus far, but more importantly, their defense and FaZe back there. Unbelievable. His second shutout in a row. That is 120 consecutive minutes of shutout hockey. Even more considering when the only goal was scored in this series. I'm shocked, Tugi. What is happening right now?
Don't throw it to me. I'm stunned. I'm not a man of very few words, as anybody who follows me on Twitter knows. I'm absolutely stunned.
Yeah.
We said that there could be a changing of the guard amongst the European elites. One win away are hREDS from winning this championship. And again, we've seen 3-0 comebacks in the final before. Philadelphia involved in that series. But that was the most impressive performance I have ever seen. Yeah. Over those 3 games, I have never seen a team play better than what hREDS just did.
No, that was
North
masterful.
American side, European side. I have never seen a top team shut down another top team like that. Never.
No, that was absolutely masterful. Again, there was 0 rush plays available for Philadelphia. There was 0 zone entries available for Philadelphia. The times when they did make it work was off some dump and chases. And even then, did they really ever have an extended zone attack like hREDS displayed at the end of that game? No, it doesn't make sense. There's no logic to this. This is something that hREDS have just found in their game, and they're putting it and working it to perfection. No, I mean, how do you predict this? You don't. Again, expect the unexpected, guys. And that being said, the 3-0 league looks pretty damning for Philadelphia, but really, there was that only one blowout right there. every other game, overtime, 1-goal game. So if it keeps going like that, if the luck starts turning for Philadelphia, if they start to get those better chances, anything can happen. And again, never, ever, ever count out a team like Philadelphia, especially when 2 out of 3 games were as close as they were. But hREDS, as you said, playing their best hockey that we've ever seen, and possibly perhaps the best hockey in the world right now.
I got nothing. I mean, I really don't. Just absolutely incredible. That said, we have a little bit more business to attend to in this particular broadcast. You see it again for the Finns in chat, our friends at Viaplay giving away monthly subscriptions, free monthly subscriptions. So again, hashtag Viaplay in chat for the Finns in attendance as well. Again, our friends at Wilhelm running their lovely street hockey events as well that Sin and I are very, very jealous of. We'll be right back. Quick word from said sponsors. We'll talk a little bit more about what just happened. Set the stage for Game 4 tomorrow. Again, emphasis on this, 20 CEST. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be running Game 4 and beyond, so don't miss that. And of course, as well, we'll be naming our Rookie of the Year for Season 12 in just a few minutes. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
All right, everybody, we are back again. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We might potentially be able to get a word with King of Apes from hREDS here. Before that, though, again, we have a couple of things to attend to. Sin, let's head it over first to our final award of the day, and then, of course, we'll talk about Game 3, set the stage for everybody heading into Game 4 tomorrow. So, again, our final award that we are handing out today is our Rookie of the Year. Again, FaZe won this last year. I think you can see why. And this year we had some great nominees. It was pretty close at the top, featuring a couple of members of Goons, of IQ. What about the goaltender, good old Benny from YMCA? Was he the winner? Well, Sid, I'm happy to announce that this year's Rookie of the Year, ECL Elite Season 12, was one Pika Roger of Goons. Very, very well deserved from one of the young stars in this elite division this season.
Yeah, it was definitely my personal pick for this. I think Piku Roger came in and really kind of helped lead that Goons squad into the position that they were in. He's a dynamic forward, another one of those, young up-and-coming studs who has just offense for days and such a natural raw talent. And with more work, more experience, he's going to mold that into being one of the best wingers in this elite division. And, like many young wingers, needs a bit more work on the defensive end of things. But if we look to guys like Nicky Dangles, how he improved defensively, and if, Piku Roger starts modeling his game after guys like Nicky Dangles, the Ekis of this league, he will have no trouble sort of ramping up into one of those top wingers. He just has, again, amazing talents and a crazy good skill set.
Again, the awards voted on by their peers, so only the players within the elite division were allowed to vote. So the ultimate compliment, of course, to be named the best young player in the elite division this season. We look forward to seeing what, of course, Goons can do next season, making the playoffs in their first year. Sin, let's take a look back at some of the highlights that were from that third game. And again, good offensive opportunities, some decent chances, but only the one goal to speak of that we're going to see here. And just what a feed by Nicky Dangles to find Villapoika.
And honestly, this highlight package could be just the last 5 to 10 minutes of that game, where hREDS were just hemming Philadelphia in. Again, let's say another thing that we've never seen before, Philadelphia getting hemmed in like that for an extended period of time. Maybe a few seasons ago against Havu, they were able to have that extended zone time, but never with the sheer amount of quality chances that also came from that. It just, every shot on net, you're holding your breath. Every rebound, you're holding your breath because hREDS has a body right there to capitalize on it. And that's what they just did so well. And again, when is the last time Philadelphia has allowed 10 minutes of time on attack against them, especially while only getting 3 themselves? I don't think it's ever happened. hREDS, once again, playing perhaps the best hockey that we've ever seen out of any team here in the ECL Elite. To be able to do this to a team like Philadelphia, I don't think some of the maybe people more unused to this league and who haven't been watching, who are tuning in for the championship, understand the sheer magnitude of what hREDS are doing right there, or just how good Philadelphia is, and not necessarily playing poorly. It's just that hREDS have found this ethereal level to their game, and they're making the most of it.
Absolutely. So again, for hREDS, 1 win away from being crowned champions. They would be the first team in a very, very long time, to put it simply, not named either Philadelphia or Havu to win a championship here in the Elite Division. It's been a couple seasons now in the making for hREDS to get to this point. They are within 1 win. And needless to say, talking about the back half of the series tomorrow, adjustments that might be made, there's nothing that hREDS have to do. That was a picture-perfect performance. They gave up 1 goal in 3 games, plus a bit of overtime in 2 of them, to a multiple-time champion and our defending champions as well in Philadelphia. A stunning turn of events, to say the least. Sin, for Philadelphia, I mean, where do you start in terms of what needs to be a little bit different?
I think they got to really go to that dump and chase a lot more. They're going to have to get around probably the best European hockey that we've ever seen that hREDS is displaying right now. You're going to have to borrow from some other regions right now. And I think a lot of that's going to come down to some dump and chase, quick passes. That's essential. There was a bit too slow. Philadelphia wanted to hug the boards, work the puck, and kind of hold off that first or second hit. They weren't able to do that. hREDS shut that down. So what I'd like to see is the second that winger gets to that half boards, quick pass, either down low or up the point. Try to spread out hREDS. Shots from the points, rebounds, a lot more of that, a lot more bit of maybe a grindy style from Philadelphia, because what they're doing isn't working. hREDS is ready for it. hREDS is counterattacking off of it. And when you're turning the puck over high in the zone like they did a lot in that game too, well, you saw that hREDS counterattack on full force and on full display and capitalizing time and time again.
And trying to be able to get a quick word here with one King of Apes of hREDS, waiting to see if we're going to be able to get him on the line for this one. Again, friendly reminder, game number 4 and beyond coming up tomorrow. Not going to want to miss the back half of that series. And Sin, again, as we get a look at the bracket here. Again, for hREDS, you had that tough road, right? Ultimately, again, you have to go through Havu to get here. 1 win away from getting to the end of that journey. Like, just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it almost seemed like they got a taste last season, and perhaps, a lot of people argue they just weren't ready. But again, all those games decided by a single goal. It was much closer than the 4-0 indicated. And this one, same could be said. It's a lot closer than the 3-0 indicates, except for that game too. Other than that, hREDS have been playing phenomenally, and they're, obviously well-deserving of the series lead right now. It's hard to say that a lucky bounce or a lucky goal has gotten them to where they are.
And again, a quick reminder as well, the prize pool that is at stake. hREDS 1 win away from taking home 10K euros richer, and that beautiful trophy that you see there. 1 win away indeed. Now, Sin, one of the men who could be 1 win away, who is 1 win away from being, a member of a championship caliber team. It is one King of Apes. Tuka, thank you for joining us. And what a start to that series for you guys. And for you in particular, sir, 1 goal, 4 assists in 3 games. An absolutely tremendous start.
I got a pretty good start. What can I say? After 2 months, I didn't know how many I have out of that. Yeah, a crazy start, and we're just happy this games turned out as they turned out. Yeah, what can I say?
So again, we're going to do the best we can here in terms of the audio quality that we have. Make the best of it. Sin, what stands out for you here as we try to sort through that?
Yeah, really what really stood out for me was how strong you guys were at the blue line. And you and Domi especially were never, ever caught out, despite sometimes pinching and getting into the offense. What did you guys kind of go over and talk about to sort of make that blue line stand so strong?
I think we have skill that we must play so much. We kind of know how good they are, and if they got the they have to like they're very very fast, and I think they're most dangerous places. Yeah, just go with them and just trying to defend it as good as we can. I think it's still hard, like they have any dangerous scoring chances, but we needs to shut them down.
Again, we won't waste too much of your time. We'll let you get out of here. A big congratulations, you guys. Again, we've had these conversations before, whether it be you with us or Connor as well. That is the best hockey you guys have ever played, and we commend you for that. You're one win away. And I mean, again, as stunning as it is, we don't sit here, Sin and I, we try to remain as unbiased as we can. But to see what you guys have done and what you guys have become has been very, very impressive. And we look forward to seeing what you do tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you. It's coming home.
There you go. Heard it from the man himself. Again, Tuka, thank you for joining us for a brief moment there. I'll let you get out of here. And for everybody else that is sticking with us here, we do thank you very much, of course, for doing so. Don't mute me. Oh, God. Anyway, Sin, this has been an incredible night, to say the least. What a start to the series. Again, we thank everybody for braving through some audio quality issues there, of course, with us. Again, a party atmosphere, in a sense. But hey, Sin, I'm still a bit speechless. We are... I mean, the word was said for Connor in terms of Philadelphia on the precipice of making history and becoming the first back-to-back winners in this elite division. hREDS are on the precipice of history now, one win away from being crowned champions.
I didn't think we'd see that today. Simply didn't. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way either one of these teams is going to be one win away. hREDS has improved too much. Philadelphia is just too good. But here we are. 2 overtime wins have and a blowout, of course, have planted hREDS into that driver's seat with the sort of chokehold on this series that none of us expected. But it's now we're going to see how Philadelphia will do with their back against the wall, who really never faced adversity until that first round of the playoffs, where they dropped those couple games. Then after that, they kind of cruised their way through, and here they are against hREDS, who they swept last season by getting those big goals when they mattered. And in this one, only 1 goal throughout 3 games. Not going to be good enough. They're going to have to find a way to generate more offense while still being able to stifle that counterattack. I don't have an answer for it. One of the few times where I will say I don't know how to break this down or what Philadelphia can do, except for maybe, look for new zone entries and way to keep them out of your zone. But again, easier said than done.
Absolutely. So again, we hope you will all join us for the rest of this series. However many games it may be. Again, 20 CEST start time, 2 p.m. Eastern here on the North American side of things. hREDS 1 win away from completely turning the balance of power in the elite division here in the European scene on its head. Again, the last code being given away from our friends at Viaplay. We thank them for supporting us, Kovan Lakritzi, and of course our friends at Wilhelm as well for helping make the season what it has been. 1 more broadcast to go. Again, we hope to see you all there. So much to get to tomorrow in terms of the action on the ice. The remainder of our awards as well. We'll be crowning our top forward, defender, goaltender, and ultimately our team of the season. So keep an eye out for that. Congrats to the award winners that we saw tonight. Congrats to hREDS for a tremendous start. And we will see what the champs have left in the tank tomorrow. You can follow Sin on Twitter, as you see on your screen there, Sin FTW Prod, and on YouTube at Sin for the Win Productions. I'm everywhere at Tuki24. A big shout out to the Crease Police, F5 Penguin, of course, and everybody behind the scenes to help make this broadcast what it is. Big thank you to all of you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. hREDS 1 win away from being crowned champions. Absolutely incredible.
tekee maalin!
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.